Hello, everybody. Welcome to our second Shockwave tournament. We are here back again. If you saw the Heatwave tournament yesterday, this is a very similar kind of vibe, but as you can tell, if you're EU, it's like 11 midnight right now. It is an NA tournament, so we're going to be seeing who can become victorious. I don't believe we have the champion from last time here today, so completely new roster of teams, and it's going to be extremely exciting. I am joined once again by the fabulous Flannels.
Hello, hello. Looking forward to it. We've got an exciting series of games ahead of us, especially since we're on a new patch. So lots of
Yup.
buffs and nerfs and changes, meta shifts. It's going to be interesting to see what people like to prioritize in this ban phase now. While Gambit was micro nerfed and it's not necessarily enough to take him out of that priority ban, it's going to be interesting to see what people will prioritize in terms of where Scott Summers is going to go.
You actually had some really interesting ideas about potential nerfs to Gambit's kit that could actually make it not really annoying to play against. Would you like to share that with stream?
Well, the whole issue right now is people are trying to figure out how to make Gambit's ult not so influential to the point where it makes him permanently picked or banned. And, his base kit has the system of having two different card options that you utilize. And, that could be an avenue that they pursue as well for his ultimate, where one side of it is more of a defensive uh, portion to it, or the other half being more of the offense utility. So, splitting it up. It's just right now his ult is so overloaded doing, five different things on hit damage, damage increase, move speed, all just, healing. It's all just so much.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we have a very interesting first match here for you. Actually, our partner org is going to be playing with their team off tech. Let's take a look at those rosters, shall we?
Yeah, it's gonna be an
Here.
interesting
Ah.
one for sure. We've got
Ooh, you get to go first this time.
yeah. On us, we got looking for exposure, formerly known as GEX. And this is a very interesting team that we get to see here. It's a very experienced team. We've got Chief and Tanky Tom over on the Vanguard roles, Bendy and Primugi in the Duelist, and Lena and Illusionary in that strategist. Now, some of these names will not match up with their in-game names. These are just the names that we have been presented for it. If you do see Trick XD, that is actually the owner of one of the recent MRI competitive teams, Equinox Gaming. All right. And so they're not done yet. They've been taken out of the group stages, but they get to go back in for the midseason qualifier relegation matches where they can still get directly back into MRI for stage two. So definitely they're looking for potentially more talent and just keeping things competitive for their organization.
Yep, sounds good. Is there any other interesting facts about them that we've been given, or is that kind of the we just have the roster?
They've MRC season 7, their top 16
Ooh.
competitive group. So very, like I said, very experienced group. This is primarily a college esports team, so it's coming from their collegiate group, and they've been together for about 4 months, so they're much more they have a lot of experience being together. They're more going to be organized and probably more communicative than some of the other teams. We saw a lot of the teams yesterday were only together for 2 to 3 weeks, much more quickly put together teams. Whereas this one has been around for a while together.
Yeah, while on the other side, going against this seemingly behemoth of a team is going to be off tech. Like I mentioned before, they are our partnered org team, and it's going to be Moondoggy, the Punisher, the Trash of Catch, David Monty Boy, Lulu 13, and AO.
Hey
They
yo,
have been, I don't know why that made me giggle. They have been a team for about a month. They have MRC 51st, very, very specific. I'm not sure how you can tell if you're exactly 51st, but here we are. They really like dive. They play a lot of Gambit, so probably not going to be on their comfort today, let's be honest. and they all like playing non-meta heroes, which directly contrasts the statement that I just read before that. But both teams are ready, so without further ado, I believe we can get straight into it and kick off our first Shockwave match.
Now, we're gonna be going straight into the domination, and so, what domination map would you like to see
Oh, we got
most
it.
today?
We
We
got the
got
one
it.
I'd like
Oh,
to see.
you got it. All right, Hell's Heaven. We're going right back to it. You
Yeah,
know,
I will
I
say Clintar shows a lot more skill and map knowledge. I just really like Hell's Heaven. I just think it's a really balanced map. Just incredibly well made all round. Unfortunately, Angela is a little bit overpowered on one of them, but other than that, I think it's fairly balanced and just a really good show of skill. What kind of comps would you like to see here with the new meta? And obviously, Devil Dino's hopefully not going to be as prominent, but do you think we'll be seeing some Blade? Mayhap?
I mean, it really depends on what these other teams like to roll out with. You mentioned Angela on these maps. There is one of them, one of these maps specifically, where Angela can be more prominent. And, she did get a couple little buffs, but also Dino not being a grounding factor is very
Ooh.
influential. And already we're seeing
Uh-oh.
what could be an interesting decision being made here with a
Uh-oh.
Phoenix first ban, which means Gambit is on the table. So this is gonna be potentially a very oppressive situation. They're looking to save that White Fox, hopefully in looking to deal with that dive, but dive isn't as prominent right now
Oh.
following this patch. But instead, actually, no, they're gonna instead of opting for the Cyclops, or instead of opting for the Gambit, they're gonna save the Cyclops. We are gonna see Scott Summers guaranteed here first game, so that's gonna be exciting to see.
Yeah, my my heart almost dropped when I saw the non-Gambit first ban from Offtech, but LF Exposure was they were kind enough to not save that Gambit and have that one-sided, really, really powerful character and going to allow Offtech to ban it off. We're going to be seeing a Punisher ban and a Spider-Man ban. It looks like Earth Exposure is just kind of banning out all of those dive characters. We are going to be seeing the Wolverine save, which means we're going to get a little peek at this new team-up, which pretty much turns Wolverine into Blade, which you would think is a bad thing because Blade is always out of the meta, but from what I've seen, it shreds through tanks. So whoever is on the Vanguard role, not gonna they're not gonna have a fun time.
Well, and to double up on that, the interesting thing for it is that while it does turn him into, a little bit of a spin factor, it also is a massive movement ability. It moves him about 23 meters in
Oh my
distance
god.
when activating that team up. And, you're able to use it multiple times within its cooldown window. So you can actually use it to get in, kidnap somebody, and then you're going to be able to use it again almost immediately after. So it's a very interesting and versatile team up that is going to enable Wolverine in different ways. He will no longer need fastball special in order to be able to get in or out.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you've given the character with a lot of movement another movement ability, so I just feel really bad because kind of the only way to counter Wolverine was having these really mobile tanks, which no longer is going to be able to stop him. The Captain America is no longer going to be able to dash away. I did not realize that he
Now he
got
will be pursued. Yep.
23 meters. That's insane. And it can be recast, you said?
I mean, it's a short enough cooldown because it alters the right clicks functionality from
Mhm.
Wolverine, and that is on a very low cooldown. So it's only a couple seconds before you can use it again after using it once. So it's all very quick in that regard.
Yeah, that is gonna be kind of scary that Wolverine is going to be pursuing his victims down, and you're not getting away from him no longer. All those tanks like the Venom and the Cap and stuff. Maybe the Venom can still get away, but we do have an invis save, so that pull will be stopping him from swinging away. And I'm just really interested to see how the Cyclops is going to get played here. I've seen his abilities. He seems Very strong. I haven't actually had a chance to play him myself yet. Have you, Finals?
Yeah, I've played him quite a bit today.
How's he feel like? Is he good? Oh
Good
god.
good would be an understatement.
Oh
You
no,
know,
Nettie's not again.
yes, yes. Once again, it has happened. We have gotten a character that feels very overtuned at the moment on release, but we'll need to see how it actually plays out over the course of the weekend and see how some of these people play it at the highest level. It's definitely going to be a chaotic weekend with all of these tournaments that are going on in the scene and so many different levels of play experiencing Cyclops. So people have to be very careful with how it's judged. It's one thing if it is completely dominant at all levels of play, or if there are measures of being able to deal with it at varying levels, because, at lower elos, some characters are much more oppressive than others when they are at higher levels of play, and vice versa. There are characters that people just don't, really think about that much at low elo because they don't play them because they're like more high skill characters, and so they're not actually seen as often in lower elos. So a lot of people don't really think about those characters being too strong or too overpowered because not a lot of people can play them to their fullest potential. And so we just got to see what he can do because is able to do a lot. However, I don't like that he does have an ability that he can just fire off of a wall and it will automatically ricochet hit you behind cover. It kind of defeats the purpose of playing cover a little bit in some situations.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of gonna go around shields as well. I think it's just kind of the characters like what Hulk and Devil Dino are only the ones that are really going to be able to stop it from getting those round the corner kills. Would you say his kit is particularly difficult to learn, or do you think it's quite easy to pick up and get good with?
I mean, he's a hit scan character, so you are going to want to have good tracking ability. His primary attack is a multi-hit, the same way Luna Snow's is. So, you can only get partial damage on the hit, but if it does hit, within a reasonable distance, it does two tap crit 275 HP targets
Oh,
and has,
oh,
very low fall off overall. So even from
right.
like 60 plus meters away, you're still pretty much almost two tapping a 250 HP target from that distance.
That
So
sounds
it's
really
going to be
balanced.
very interesting to see how it comes in. But we're going to get our first look at it right now as the members jump onto the point. Bendy being thrown into the background right away, kidnapping Winter Soldier and bringing him right back to their team. They're going to try to get this first elimination to start things off, and they are going to secure him down.
Ooh, it's going to be trade, though, as Bendy's going to be able to fall to these penny mines, going to be rezzed by Tricks and BRB, though, and we're just seeing Illusionary just pump so much damage onto the point here. It is going to be a off-tech first cap, though. We are going to be seeing the Banhammer coming out straight on top of them. Enough damage to help his team get the kills. It is going to be able to take down the support, and that is a very short-lived cap from off-tech. 66% ult charge on this Cyclops already. Is that the normal? Do we just expect this to be a really high charge ultimate, or is he just popping off right now?
I mean, if you're able to consistently be applying damage as Chief comes in with an extra elimination, it's going to stagger things out. It is really easy to build up ult charge, especially with consistent fighting, because you're just able to hit so many people at once. It's a Moon Knight type situation, which I gotta say his ultimate is a little bit more problematic than Moon Knight's. However, there is a little more opportunity out of it. But yeah, it's a big ultimate. It has a large AoE, but here's his main thing is that he has so much movement that he has at his disposal. Bendy able to pick up an elimination there on Big Daddy, and Bendy going in for the double elimination, pursuing that backline. Illusionary is going to secure one as well on a breaks, and they are just going to keep up the pressure and push Off-Tech back towards their spawn.
Yeah, that was just an incredible play. The Ruby Rampage, I think it's called. It's a very weird ultimate name. I would have thought it'd be called, like, I don't know, Flame Eyes, or I don't know, let the beam out. I'm just balling here, but it allowed them to split up and just really made the supports off-centered. Moondog is going to be the first one to fall to Bendy. Big Daddy soon to follow. Illusionary picking up that free kill as David is going to have to back out here, and we are seeing a little bit of spawn gamming as he goes for the last stand onto the supports. I think that is extremely mean. We're able to take them out. Dance to the Butterflies is going to be going out, not really able to get anything as they are just going to be stacking up. It does find Trick XD kind of out of nowhere, though. Illusionary is going to be able to get the double kill just to keep Off-Tech back in spawn. We are going to be switching on to the Mr. Fantastic here just to kind of stop this damage from going out as much. Also, David Monty going off of the Psylocke and on to the Magic instead. I also just realized that Off-Tech is running a solo tank comp currently. I'm not too sure how I feel about that. I feel like solo tanking, especially as Thing, is like one of the hardest things that you can do, and not really the situation you want to be going into, especially against a team as good as this.
Well, they weren't on solo Vanguard, you know, the entire time, but it is a difficult situation. I think they're trying to figure out how best to get out of spawn, and we are going to see them look to actually swap over to that Magneto, and that is going to be one of the things that is going to be nice to it. And we're seeing Illusionary here with already incredibly high damage output
Oh
on
my
this
god.
Psylocke, as you know, 13-0-2, but already at 10,000 damage, just, you know, more than the rest of his team, essentially, just about.
Almost
And
triple. Triple this rest of his team. I cannot
well,
believe this
combined,
character got allowed through. Oh, okay, yeah, combined.
it's almost the
Yeah.
same amount combined, but
It's probably
you know,
gonna end like that.
it's the way his ultimate is, in the fact that it's, you know, so it's a two-part ultimate. It hits
Mhm.
twice. The initial hit is 75 damage plus 25% of your max HP, and then the second hit is another 75 plus 40% of your
Oh
max
my
HP.
god.
So it is a staggering amount of damage that comes through, and is why it is such a tank buster. Now we are seeing Off-Tech actually go back onto the Thing while they are running that Penny. They're trying to get Bendy here. You know, they're really trying to watch out for Bendy being able to kidnap people, but even so, we're still going to see 2 eliminations coming through for Exposure, and they're going to be forcing out the invisible boundary from Off-Tech, and Off-Tech's going to use that to try and stay on, and they're going to combo the ultimate right there, the CYA with the Red Rage. Unfortunately, they don't find an elimination through that initially, but Big Daddy coming in with the mines instead, taking out Prime Yuji, and now it breaks securing on Verzi, and they are slowly getting some eliminations in Off-Tech's favor, but Exposure is still coming through, and we're seeing that
Oh my
mobility
god.
of Scott Summers as he gets an elimination from the sky, flies into the back line, and secures one more on a breaks, and now they're just pursuing back towards their spawn once more, and that is going to be Illusionary securing one more elimination to round it off.
Someone needs to get Scott in the Mutant Olympics because he is flying across the map. I'm really surprised they decided to give a hit scan with this much damage, the more mobility than any other hit scan in the game. It feels like you're playing Cyclops at range, which is a terrifying thought. We are going to be seeing Big Daddy trying to set up here. He does have a Spider Sweeper up and available. CYA could become with Kraken Impact. We are going to be seeing the last stand coming down. He's going to be able to find 3 CYA is going to be coming out, as well as the Spider Sweeper. We are going to be seeing 2 kills going towards LF Explosion. This is not looking too good for Off-Tech. We are just seeing Illusionary on the flank right now, just doing a little bit of poke on to his enemy. Going to be able to take down one there is David Monty. Not too sure where the shots are coming from. We are going to be seeing Moondoggy coming back, charging past Scott, trying to survive this double flank from both the support pool and Illusionary here. Still plenty of ultimates for LF Exposure. They are in such a good position. No cares in the world. They have full control of this domination.
And right there, we can see a little bit of the spin tech coming through by Bendy, using that team up as he just goes dashing in, Beyblading his way into their spawn area. And, you know, you got to see it being used multiple times in a row, just like we talked about. It's on a low cooldown, so you're able to use it to really chase on Wolverine, which is a weird thing. And here comes the Kraken Impact, looking for an elimination. There we go, one coming through. Can we get another out of it? But he is going to fall before any more can happen, as LF Exposure is going to shut that down and not let any momentum be built up for Off-Tech, and they're going to put them back into spawn and secure this second map.
Yeah, before we have a look at the damage, I want you to take a guess. How much do you think Illusionary has right now?
Off of this round, I'd say he's probably close to 20k.
All right, let's
If
see.
not
Let's see how
more.
close you are. I'm betting 25, right? It's got. I mean, I guess it wasn't that long of a match. It was a 100-0 on both of the points. So I don't know. This character looks really balanced, Funnels. I think Ji-Young and Guang really cocked right here. They actually finally came out with a balanced character on release, and I think no one has to worry about really banning him. So we are
21.
going to be seeing that 21k damage. You were very, very correct there. 33 and oh, I feel like it is probably going to be a Cyclops first ban for off tech instead of that Phoenix, as clearly, he is a very, very dominant pick, something to be feared. And like you said, I cannot wait to be seeing this in the hand of pro players.
Yeah, I mean, you really look at it, you have to take into account that, you're banning the Phoenix because you're trying to run Rocket and you don't want the Phoenix to be able to immediately EMP, nuke the CYA, but Cyclops can still technically do it too in a way because it does all of that percent HP damage. It actually does pretty much 80% of that CYA's health through it. And so it's just a, one more hit after that, really, to just take it out. So it's almost a non factor in that sense. And with the nerf to Phoenix's damage fall off, Cyclops is currently the bigger threat compared to Phoenix, in my opinion. I think that he is the much more prominent, hit scan to be worried about, just because he's able to hit so hard from range, but also has the multi-hit factor of being able to collateral multiple members of your team. While Phoenix does have the sparks, it does require those repeated successive hits to come through and for people to be grouped together. Whereas Scott, you don't have to be as grouped up in order to get that multi-hit system to come into play. And that's just kind of where that gets offset a little bit. But I think he's going to be an absolute menace. It's going to be, almost a little bit of that 7.5 method of meta, perhaps like we saw with the preseason in Ignite, where it was basically if you were saving Gambit or you were banning Gambit at the beginning, it was Elsa. And if you banned Elsa, then you saved Gambit. And it's going to be maybe a little bit of a back and forth in that situation again, in terms of how it's seen.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised. I mean, when watching Ignite, though, it feels like a lot of the pro players aren't scared to do that Gambit mirror. I mean, unless you're against Saipe, right? He is a different beast entirely on the support role. We are going to be seeing a little bit of a sub coming out from off tech. David, the seemingly dive player, the one that was on at Magic, and Psylocke has been subbed out for, I believe it was Abranax. We are going to be going to Shin Shibuya as well. I was talking all of yesterday how I really, really wanted to see a Shin Shibuya being played only recently, last season, I believe, added back to the map pool. So I'm just really interested to see if these teams have practiced it, what kind of strategies we've got going on here. I believe it was played in Ignite as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, Flannels.
Shin Shibuya was definitely seen at times. The general community feelings about this map are usually not very good. It's a very obnoxious point to push in comparison to some of the others, just because of how the terrain breaks and how narrow of an entry it is. It doesn't allow for too many off-angle approaches.
Oh.
It really is just from one side, and we're going to instead immediately see a Penny ban, because Penny, it would be used in this situation very much
Yeah,
so
you
as
called
a
it.
defensive measure. And instead, though, off tech, they don't want to deal with Scott Summers anymore. They've seen enough. He's banned right away. So, we might be seeing Gambit come through, as it is open for both teams currently.
Oh, that is an Invis first save. I was expecting the Gambit as well, especially because Offtech said that they like playing Gambit. So the Invis save was a little bit baffling. She really is not great at the moment, unfortunately. She's very situational. You want to play her when she can counter, like really good against dive, like the Venom, you can pull him back, his swing, the Cap, the Daredevil, the Angela, all these kind of divey characters, and she really pairs well nicely with the hit scans because of the shield. But I feel like Gambit is just so much stronger, especially with the rogue buffs recently. Play some Gambit rogue. I know that they nerfed the team up, but it still is, it's Gambit rogue, right? You can't, it's still going to be as broken as ever.
Yeah, I mean, that team up is still definitely something to keep an eye on. I think the bigger part of that nerf in the team up is the healing that is generated from it. That is kind of what
Hmm.
made Rogue a little more Thanos, because she was able to essentially self-sustain with it, and really just be able to sustain other people with it as well in a very brawl intensive type environment. But we are going to see the Gambit still being banned here on both sides. So no Gambit still. Phoenix is currently still being left open. I think that is totally expected in this situation. We do see the save on the Star-Lord for exposure. Star-Lord did see a slight nerf to his damage fall off for his primary fire, but that is not impacted in the ultimate. This is mainly just so that he can't farm his ult as easily and as comfortably from far away. You know, with that giant clip increase up to 50, he's able to still apply a lot of pressure even from far away, and that was kind of not really as much of his intent. He was supposed to be, you know, a little more mid-range with those dual pistols rapid firing in, taking on a little bit of that Tracer-esque type vibe. But you know, so far he's been able to be very comfortable from distance.
Yeah, I definitely do really like the Star-Lord nerf. Him being able to snipe is not really something you expect, because you kind of want to see him more in dive comps, especially when running like this Jeff or this Magneto. You can kind of just spin to win on top of them. I'm now realizing that we can have a spin comp with the Wolf Star-Lord. Just go and start spin to win on the head. That is going to be a White Fox save, and we are definitely going to be seeing a dive comp from Aleph Exposure, which I feel like dive on this map is pretty good, especially with the Penny and the Emma being banned, because you can just use these high grounds, and there's a lot of flank angles. Less on the first point. You can break the wall and go around the back, but more when we get to the second and third point. There are plenty of flank angles with health packs for those dive DPS to get in position and start harassing the backline. And I'm interested to see if Offtech are going to be pulling out the Cyclops for themselves. I doubt it, as we didn't see it last match. And there's the Angela. I definitely did expect this. And I also just realized that Offtech did not ban Penny, so we are going to be seeing the Penny coming out from Aleph Exposure, which is going to cause a lot of problems, and it's going to be really, really hard for Offtech to push onto this first point.
You know, I don't want to say it, but I have a feeling this is going to be a very difficult offense for Offtech, because they have allowed the Penny in, but also, you know, we're going to see Angela being able to just bring people in to those Penny mines and just kind of be a bit of a nuisance. It really is going to be dependent on Trash of Can being able to take Angela out of the sky, as well as Every being able to hit those shots to apply pressure. And, you know, so they are going to walk out here on the Scott Summers, but we already see Bendy looking to take the flank, as they have members completely isolated already. And we see Angela looking for that first prey, hunting from the sky. Magic coming in, not quite able to get that full connect combination, but Chick is not afraid to dive. Chief is not afraid to dive right in there and pursue right back.
Yeah, a little bit of troubles there. Just going to be dodging them. They are going to be flanking around the backside of this building, which I actually really like to see. It's going to be first blood to Every as Bendy gets taken out. Prime, Yuji, though, able to trade out for Trash Cannon. This is going to be Illusionary on the flank of a lifetime, just doing whatever they want, raining hell onto the supports with the help of Trick XD, and it's just really not allowing the Cloak and Dagger to do much for her team, forcing all of her cooldowns to be used on herself. That being said, though, Offtech still holding strong. I say that as soon as Lulu gets taken out, Big Daddy soon to follow, with no support left alive. That is going to spell defeat for Offtech in this team fight.
Yeah, Offtech is just going to fall one by one now, little by little. You know, they were able to get into the point. That was an important thing. They were able to get in there, but they just don't have the means for being able to sustain in there. Unfortunately, I don't know how I don't know what the plan is for this thing in this type of situation. You know, Penny is going to shut him down really easily, just being able to wrap him up constantly. It's the same reason, it's the same way that Penny countered Devil Dino, being able to just stop their movement consistently and make them susceptible to constant damage. We will see Bendy here now on Spider-Man's stead, just also dashing around, and we are going to see maybe a Dance of the Butterfly here coming out shortly from Illusionary, as they do have that ultimate available, but they're going to wait for a little more opportune moment as the Spider Sweeper comes through. And here it is being let loose, and they are going to secure that elimination there on Every for that Scott Summers beatdown, and they are going to pick up a nice double elimination in that exchange. Bendy getting two-piece as well, and they are going to send Off-Tech back to spawn for now.
Yeah, I mean, he just waited, Illusionary that is, waited perfectly for the Eternal Bond to run out and just get those free picks with the Dance of the Butterflies. We're going to be seeing a little bit of a switch up here, going on to these strange, instantly getting wiped out by those penny mines, probably for the Invis team up, if I had to guess. We are going to be seeing Bendy coming in on the Spider-Man here, trying to get a quick pick. Tricks is actually going to be the one to be able to take down Every here. Looks like Bendy is going to get his kill stolen by Illusionary, actually, as that is going to be Trash getting taken out. We do have an It's Jeff up and available, and I feel like it's going to be used more defensively, probably against this Thingol. But with the way the team's playing, that is a very aggressive Jeff. We are going to be seeing Heaven's Retribution coming down of Invisible Boundary coming out to defend it for the time being. Illusionary is going to be taken out by Trash, and that is 2 members down for Elf Exposure, a 4v6. Clobbering Town is going to be coming down straight onto the point. He's going to be able to catch Vezi. That is going to be a very dead Penny very soon. Kraken Impact going to be cracking down onto them as well. Trick XD is going to fall. That is a triple kill for Trash of Cash, and they are actually doing a lot better than I expected. We are going to be seeing the It's Jeff coming out here. The reset for the Kraken Impact. He's going to be using it a little bit too early. Unfortunately, the Jeff is not able to find anyone. That stun is going to spell his end. We're going to be seeing the Ruby Rampage coming out. We're not going to take anyone down, but Moon Doggy is going to find the pigs. Bendry, though, is managed to take down Big Daddy now without the Cloak and Dagger, without the Eternal Bond. It's going to be really rough, especially because Illusionary is so close to this Dance of the Butterflies. Moon Doggy is going to deal with that threat, though, and first, the point is capped by Off-Tech.
Yeah, that was a really nice initial stall out there from the Jeff. That's really what that value of that ultimate was, is by putting it on the dead center, you forced everybody on the Off-Tech to actually have to get, you know, spread out from the point and not be able to continue the advancement of the capture for it, which is what allowed for Exposure to be able to get the TP through to contest it. But they then had to contest it with the Jeff down because they were vulnerable coming out of their It's Jeff, and they were down a strategist on the point, so they were not in a great situation right away. And Exposure is currently back in there. Bendy is able to secure one, but gets taken out of their Spider-Man ultimate, and that is going to be a 2-piece for Off-Tech here. Now coming in with the Agamotto, looking for it, and only able to find one. They do manage to secure Yuji off of it, and they're going to continue their offensive push here around the first corner. Trash of Cash securing one as well on Verzi here, and we are seeing life coming through from Off-Tech as they are moving this payload forward.
Yeah, Off-Tech have not given up hope. That first map was looking so rough for them, but clearly they are not disheartened as they are using this momentum to push through. Galactic Ledger is now going to be coming out from Illusionary. Eternal Bond in response by Dig Daddy is going to be able to keep the members alive. Is going to find 3, and they get wiped out, and I believe this is going to be a 2nd point cap after such a slow start. Oh my god, Every just getting a little bit spawn camped there by Illusionary. 1 clip to the face. Like Flannel said, those 50 bullets do a lot of damage when they all go straight to your skull, but this 2nd point cap is really nice, especially after the slow start that Off-Tech had. Although Bendy has gone off the Spider-Man on to the Hawkeye, which the pick I haven't seen in a while, but he is already showing the value of it, getting a 2k, trying to make it 3. But Illusionary is here to support them and back them up, and especially when you're playing against the Thing with such a big head hitbox, it's just really hard to play into.
And now we're going to see Exposure here looking to just kind of keep Off-Tech boxed in right now. Off-Tech is going to try to figure out a way to get out of this spawn. This is a difficult spawn to depart from, as there's only really one angle to approach from. And here we come, see the Entangling Prism. The Invisible Boundary is out in order to contest it, and they are still able to eliminate them through it, securing 2, taking out the Bucky Barnes and Cyclops with it. So the offensive pressure is down. 2 more falling. Bendy and Illusionary coming through. through, taking them out, and they are just going to look to keep Offtech boxed in on this point. So Offtech is going to have to try to take a different approach for how they want to get out of this spawn, as Exposure is really just going to be looking to pressure them from all sides. They're first probably going to have to deal with Illusionary here, who is on the backside, just peppering them constantly. We see the Agamotto come through, but there is the Fate of Both Worlds, but they're going to still be able to get 2 eliminations through it. Illusionary is going to fall, and they are now going to see Offtech being able to get out of spawn and get moving into this final stretch, this final part of the map, and try to get into that last room.
Yeah, they did manage to break the spawn hole. Kraken Impact is going to be coming out. It does fully miss, as we are going to be seeing the It's Jeff fade from Cloak and Dagger is going to be able to save her team. Prime Yuji, though, able to take down the Moon, which means that they're going to be able to go into this fight as a 5v6. Illusionary already set up. Never mind, Yuji gets taken down. A really nice pick onto the support extremely early. Illusionary has been found out now, just kind of chilling above them right now, being a little nuisance and a fly like this character is meant to be. He's going to be able to spot down Moondoggy as well. He's looking for a flank clobbering time here, but they know it is coming. We do have Strangling Prism up and available. Moondoggy is going to get bullied here, going to be CC'd forever. Seeing, oh my god, a Strangling Prison that finds a 4 from Versity. The Eternal Bond is not going to be able to keep them alive from Illusionary's Galactic Legend no more. With 3 seconds left on the clock, no TP is going to come in time, and Offtech are going to be stopped right before the end.
You know, hey, we still got to see them make a nice push on the map, but this is very much a winnable situation for Exposure, as they just have to push the cart the full distance and they will secure that win. They really locked in a little bit there on that back half. You know, they were messing around with a couple different things in that first half, and they said enough is enough. We're going to try to put you in spawn. And, you know, they overcommitted to that spawn hole just a little too much, and Offtech was able to find the solution to get out, and were able to actually make a good push onto that last stretch of the map. And unfortunately, they were not able to get the entire way, but they are going to have their work cut out for them here on defense now.
I'm starting to get the feeling that Moondoggy might be a little bit of a one-trick here, as I really don't think Thing works into what you're playing. Like you mentioned earlier, there are just so many good characters against Thing. The Luna, even the Rocket can melt a Thing, and obviously you've got now the tank pool with the Hawkeye and Star-Lord. Moondoggy just really not having a good time. I feel like so many better tank picks. I know quite a few were banned out. The Emma, the Penny, and the Magneto were gone, but you still have so many other characters that are just better than Thing in this situation. But we are going to be forcing it, and that unfortunately might be their downfall. They just weren't able to get that clobbering time off during the last fight. We'll see how it works on the defense here.
Yeah, and really Verzi now on that swap over to the Emma, and that Emma is likely going to just be bullying Moondoggy, and Bendy is already going to secure that first elimination, taking out Scott Summers. And that is going to be the offensive pressure for Offtech taken out right away, as well as some of their backline. They're trying to get something here on the backside of the point, but Verzi with a nice 2-piece, and they are going to look to secure down Moondoggy here for that third. But Chief is going to take that last hit on it, and it's just going to be Exposure pushing in and now pursuing to spawn and maybe looking to disrupt this portal, or they're just going to regroup back to it. They are putting some damage through on them, but the portal is going to make its way through, and Verzi is ready and waiting and is just going to immediately take out Big Daddy on that Cloak and Dagger, and now look to bully this Thing a little bit, and before he can get back to spawn, and it is just going to be another elimination there, and they are going to look to just push Offtech back to their next spawn as well.
Yeah, extremely fast cap from LF Exposure. I mean, exactly what I expected from this caliber of team. A cheeky little kill from Trash of Cash on the overextended Bendy. We are going to be seeing every switch over to the Hela, something that I have not seen in a very long time. She just really fell out of the meta. There are so many other hit scans, especially with Cyclops now being added to the game, that are just work better than this Hela, but it is going to be really nice against this Star-Lord, this fly that is constantly jumping around in the sky. But with that Rocket team up, it's going to be extremely hard to kill him. We're going to be seeing Crashing Giant. We're going to be seeing Hunter's Fight coming out from Bendy here. The entirety of Offtech are just forced back once again. Isn't going to be able to find any picks just yet. A lot of damage put in, though, going to allow Chief to just disrupt them even more. But all the space that Hunter's Sight provided is going to be extremely valuable for LF Exposure. It just allows the tanks to really do whatever they want. Chief going to be getting a little bit low, though. But with the BRB still up, not really too scared about it. We are going to be seeing the invisible boundary coming out. We are going to see Fate of Both Worlds in a response as well from Prime Yuji, just to contest it, Eternal Bond, as well. As soon as that invisible boundary clobbering time going to be calling down Feastly Bits, are going to be able to find four. It's actually going to be Alscara that gets the kills there too. KCI mixed with this Galactic Legend is just going to be pumping so much damage on to Off-Tech, and with no support ults left to keep them sustained, it means that Alpha Exposure are able to cap the second point.
Yeah, and we're gonna want to see off tech. I unfortunately Trash of Cash is just gonna get picked off here right away. He's not gonna be able to get back to spawn. He needs to get back in there and retreat to the next TP point. There we go, back to spawn room, because that would have been a very dangerous situation for somebody to have gotten picked off and really get staggered out right now, because immediately Exposure is looking to position for control of this final turn on the map. They're gonna let the cart move its distance on its own. And we got Bendy trying to be a little cheeky here, taking the 1v1 against the Thing. Unfortunately, you don't quite have the damage to take Thing out if he's able to jump on you instantly, as Illusionary is going to teleport on out with their team up. Off-Tech does have some nice ultimates at their disposal. Unfortunately, they don't have any defensive ultimates at their side right now for dealing with any sort of engagements as the Silent Session comes through, so they have to kite this out the best they can, but Chief is going to secure a double as Verzi gets one as well, and they're just going to wipe out Off-Tech here, a full ace, and they are going to look to move this cart into that last bit of distance. That was a very aggressive engagement there by Exposure. That's exactly what they needed to do, not give Off-Tech the opportunity to be the ones to start an engagement, and they're going to just hold this spot up here very forward as the cart will move into its final few meters.
Yeah, we are seeing Bendy set up on a really nice position, ready to use his Hunter's Sight. We are going to be seeing Hella going into the air with the Goddess of Death. Irogamoto comes out, able to find Bendy, but unfortunately is just not enough. The shield from Emma is just blocking all of those Goddess of Death bullets, and that is going to be a series win for LF Exposure. A very dominant series for them. They definitely locked in on that offensive there, and they might be my team to win right now. I know we've only watched one match, but this team is perfection. They just played this map so well. Something that you don't see non-Ignite teams do very often is set up for the next point, which Exposure did almost every single time. I know Bendy sometimes got a little bit overzealous and greeded, trying to get a kill, trying to take an ego 1v1 and then gets caught. But the rest of his team were already setting up a spawn trap for Off-Tech, and it just worked so well, giving them zero breathing room and really zero chance to build any ultimates up. But it is now my favorite time of the day, Flannels. Gonna be able to pick an MVP here.
Oh, MVP. I'm gonna have to give this one personally, I'm gonna have to say it's going to Illusionary. Illusionary, we did get to see them have that very dominant performance on Cyclops on the domination map, but following that, we saw a really great performance on Star-Lord, and they played their angles very well on him. You can see he does a very good job of playing their life. Only 3 deaths, lowest deaths on their team, while still putting out incredibly high damage and securing 18 final hits, but also being that factor, having the confidence to play on the backside of that second point where they were able to burn so much time on Off-Tech when they were holding them at that second checkpoint respawn. He was just by himself on the backside of that of those doors and was being that nuisance and was a major distraction to Off-Tech single-handedly before they were able to finally deal with him, where they were then able to push out. So for me, it's Illusionary.
Yeah, having only 3 deaths as a flank DPS is a little bit crazy, so I'm definitely going to have to agree with you there. All the points you made were pretty much exactly what I was going to say, so it is going to be Illusionary as your first MVP of the Shockwave tournament. Now, we are going to be taking a little 5-minute break here while we set up the next game, but do not go anywhere as semifinals are up next, and it looks like it's heating up to be a very close tournament. But for now, bye-bye! Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are actually still in our round one as we were able to catch the end of Jaego Live versus Sky Gaming. The score is currently 1-2-1 as we now move into the convoy. Both teams are ready, so we're going to get this map 3 started right away.
Should be an exciting match. Both teams being able to take a map off of each other. We did get to see, a little bit of an exciting match here in our first game of the day for our NA group in Shockwave. Obviously, it was clear that, looking for exposure is the definite better team in their matchup, but it came with some, fun quirks to it. We did get to see them get pushed to second point on the convergence map after they had such a dominant presence on the domination. But we're going to be getting into the next game here is game 3 for these two teams. So it's do or die.
Yeah, I believe the lobby was set up wrong, so I'm just gonna have to redo this real quick. Um, as it is gonna be a convoy, not another Central Park. We did get to catch, um, we didn't get to catch the end of just we did get to catch the end of the second map, the Central Park. Um,
It's
where
all
they
right.
were both playing the Dino Mirror. It was I believe, a very quick win for Jaego Live. They managed to get it was stop them before they got to the end and then push it with a very dominant 4 minutes left on the clock. So
Yeah, but it's going to be interesting to see what map these teams like to go with here. It's we're going to be going to convoy, so I'm wondering, I really don't want to go back to Museum of Contemplation. It's it's not a great situation for that to be the case, but hopefully we get to see uh the Midtown is what is one that we don't see very often. If we do get to see Midtown, I don't know why people. I feel like the reason why a lot of people don't like Midtown is because of all of the moving parts of the map. The terrain shifting and being just messing up people's placement or getting in the way. You get that a little bit on Central Park Convergence, and it's not that bad there in the same way. Whereas on Midtown, it's much more consistent, where it's just really big elements of the terrain shifting and really just messing you up. And sometimes people even get stuck in the rooms of the apartments outside at third point.
yeah, definitely. I also think a lot of people dislike this map because everyone associates it with Spawnhold, right? And I
Mm.
can't think of a single person who likes Spawnhold. It's cancer to play into. It's really not fun to play. I like it because I'm a Loki player, so Spawnhold is actually great for me. But a lot of people really don't like it, and Midtown is one of those perfect Spawnhold maps. You just sit in the bar with your 3 supports and just allow the vanguards to constantly stall the cart. You go Loki, you go Adam, you strange TP back, and you just stall for years. We've seen so many pro matches where they just don't get past first point because the spawn hold is so egregious. We are going to be seeing that instant gambit ban with the Cyclops save this time. I know that Sky Gaming's Cyclops did get banned out last map, so it's going to be interesting to see how Boomerfout is going to be playing it. But would you like to let us know who's on the roster of Jaego Live? I've also just noticed that Nice Gummy has Lord Dino already. That is terrifying.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we're a whole patch through Lord at this point. That shouldn't be a problem, especially if you go into 18v18 and you farm that up. I mean, the character absorbs
Oh,
damage like no other.
Lord
There are a
farming.
lot of people who are Lord farmers. I've seen animated dinos in quick plays, so
That's crazy.
they're out there. They're out there. But this is actually an interesting thing that we are seeing. Jaego Live, we got TRHK, Avery XOXO, Saiyan Nice Gummy, Jaego themselves, and Sonics. But what's nice to see here is we do see that mirrored Gambit ban, which is so traditional. But both of these teams were actually looking at doing things with Dino since they're both hovering it right now. And that's actually something that we didn't see at all in that first game. Nobody tried to play Dino. So some people either feel like Dino's not worth it, or they might still feel like Dino is very much so worth it. Perhaps more so if it's playing into a mirror, but right away, Jaego thinks it's enough of a threat as they are banning it away from Sky Gaming.
Yeah, maybe Yigo Live did not read the patch notes as the Dino is very heavily nerfed, and I feel like there are just so many counters now. You can play that Emma, you can freely play Angela. Any flyers, really, that was his main oppressive point, that he could ground those flyers, but no longer being able to do that means that it just gives a lot of options. We are going to be seeing the Spider-Man coming through. I'm going to assume that is for Sonic, as he has the legendary animated Spider-Man border. We are going to be seeing the Wolverine Cyclops team up once again. We saw how dominant LF Exposure were on that team up, so we're seeing what Sky Gaming is going to be bringing to the table. Going to be ending the ban phase off with a Emma ban.
Yeah, I mean, seeing that Wolverine save makes sense, especially since you do have that Cyclops saved as well. So you're going to get the guaranteed value out of that team up, which, that might be very well into being utilized for playing into Gummy on that Dino. So, we are going to see a one-sided Dino as well as, not necessarily a one-sided Scott. It looks like Jaego actually prefers to play Phoenix, and as a result, I mean, Sky didn't even look to ban it from them. They did want to ban out the Spider-Man, though, as it looked like that was what Sonics did greatly enjoy playing, but maybe they just don't feel, Jaego Live doesn't feel like Scott is worth it over Phoenix still at this time. Instead, actually, now swapping over to that Star-Lord. So, they didn't get it banned. Maybe they tried playing it early on and because we didn't get to see their first two matches and it didn't work out for them. But Jaego Live is going to have to make some adjustments here since that Spider-Man is not available. And they're going to be coming out with that double hit scan, rolling out the Punisher.
I will say I really like that they did decide to last ban that Emma, which just kind of stops the main counter from Dino being a threat. We are going to be seeing a group mirror coming out here, as well as the Loki and Rocket for the side of Sky Gaming. Double CYA is going to be extremely impressive. They did ban out the Loki from Avery, so it's going to be a little bit of a one-sided Avery. Nice coming, getting a lot of damage in. We are going to be seeing Chubby Monkey going for a grab, but gets stopped. Avery going to be saving her tank from imminent doom there. We are seeing Boomer putting a lot of damage out already. Vans getting a little bit scary over there in the backline. Jaego needs to be careful. You cannot allow them. This Cyclops is going to be doing so much damage to you, as we are going to be seeing the Dino getting burst down. Although it feels like they're just not taking any damage from this Wolverine here. Although Cyclops, however, is going to be wiping him out, but not before Jaego is able to take down Kujin. It's going to be a res from both sides. Still a 6-3-6, but Boomer Fruit has such a nice aggressive position here. Just really allowed the pressure of the supports of Jaego Live and just create a lot of space. Runes being forced out already. CYA going to be used from Nasian. A really nice cooldown, especially when you have the Kraken Impact already. We are going to be seeing the Ruby Rampage coming out. Invisible Boundary in response. Kraken Impact isn't able to find anything. Nice Gummy has been taken out, though. Trixie going to be able to find Salty much. That is a very nice trade. Not going to be able to find another grab. Missing once again.
Hey, it was a very intense exchange there, as we did see that CYA come out, and it was immediately retaliated with that Ruby Rage, which actually helped burn it down really quickly. And Sky is now going to be popping their CYA, and they're going to be using it to get around this first corner as we see them going full aggression, looking to tear into this back line. They still have that last stand at the ready if they go in for the full engagement, but Jaego Live is currently staggered. Groot is not presently here, so they can actually kind of bully Diego Live back around this first corner, and Dino has to really be the one to step up and contest it. Only 3 meters to go, 1 meter left. We get the Entangling Prism out, but it's in a kind of funky spot. They don't really get too much off of it, but the Dino is still there. One trade apiece on both sides, but we do see Groot get revived, and he comes back in with his own Entangling Prism, and they're going to look to try to wipe this out. They just have to get the last meter of this stretch, but we still have Dino trampling around, and it is finally going to fall as Sky Gaming is going to wipe out Diego Live. A nice elimination pairing between the Wolverine and Scott, and they're just going to keep up the pressure now and chase Diego Live back around to that second point.
Sonic really struggling to find his footing in this game. He's not able to build his final judgment just yet, which is going to be very detrimental, especially when Bazio has that Meteor M up and available already. We are going to be seeing another Ruby Rampage coming out from Boomer through extremely soon. And I wonder how much goddamn damage is it going to be doing. Oh my god, Sonic shotgun to the face for Salty Much, getting a little bit too aggressive there. It is going to be rezzed by Van's Legend, so still a 6v6 for the time being, but that Ruby Rampage is going to be coming out from the flank. Isn't really able to connect onto anything. Unfortunately, Sonic is going to be able to take down Van's Legend. Nathan going to be using that CYA final judgment comboed with it. The Meteor M is not going to be able to save you now, as Sonic just slices through Sky Gaming like a knife through butter and forcing them all the way back to spawn.
A nice little stop for them there to prevent that momentum, because Sky Gaming was rolling with the momentum for a little bit. Diego now on that Hulk, you know, a little more diverse of a character, able to jump around. You know, the Dino was just too vulnerable. He is too susceptible to the damage that's able to be put into it. And we do see the Galactic Legend coming through, but it's getting absorbed up by that Meteor M. Is he going to try to slam it down on him? He's waiting to dodge, and he does, so no value there. And instead, we are still going to see Diego get an elimination off of that as the CYA comes out. Invisible Boundary there to match it, but we still see the members of Diego going low. Last stand coming through by Chubby, and they are going to secure it on Saiyan. Gummy manages to find Vance, though. Bezo taking out Trix, and it's still going to be a Beyblade torrential spin there by Chubby, trying to find one more, but it's a little bit of a stalemate as both of these teams are just kind of battling it out back and forth around the point, trying to get the ultimate deciding factor here. We do have an Entangling Prism available, but we're going to see 2 eliminations coming through by Sky Gaming here in that neutral. Salty getting that last one, and Hulk is now trying to collapse onto this rodent into a tight room. Trapped, not going to be able to finish them off as he's going to go back into baby banner form, and that is going to give Sky Gaming the edge they need to go up in numbers as they push around this corner. We do see Gummy get revived by the BRB, so it's not much of an advantage for long as Sky Gaming is right back into it with the CYA and the Entangling Prism trying to finish him out. Scott coming through with the triple elimination. Ruby Rage finding 3, and now they're going to just push back Diego Live, almost getting a full ace. Scott looking really to finish it off here, and they're pursuing him around the vending machine, getting it to make that a full 6 elims and forcing Diego to reset back to third point.
That was such a nice strangling prism from Salty Much to be able to set up the Ruby Rage from Boomer to just clean up the fight. I mean, managing to catch both of the supports there with the strangling prism was exactly what Sky Gaming needed as we are moving on to the third point. 2 minutes 20 left on the clock. Boomer needs to be very careful here. It's been put extremely low. Actually, it's going to be taken out by Sonic. Avery using that shield just to keep her Punisher nice and safe and secure, and just allow him to wreak havoc on to a Boomer. Gummy getting very low now, has to back away, giving even more space. We are going to be seeing the CYA coming out with the final judgment. Meteor M is going to get instantly destroyed. No Meteor M for you. Runes are going to be coming out to keep them alive for the time being, allowing them to kite away, but it's not enough. This damage is just way too much. A 40% damage boost on to miniguns turns out to be a little bit too much to survive.
Yeah, and Sky Gaming is just going to, you know, use the protection of their spawn right now to poke out a little bit while their team respawns and gets back into it. But that's, you know, that's a very lethal combination still. CYA plus Final Judgment, which, you know, you try to have that Meteor M retaliate it, but in that situation, you pretty much have to throw it instantaneously because that damage is so high that it's going to get eaten up right away. But TRHK is going to find Boomer out again, and that is going to be the DPS down, and it's Sky Gaming losing some of their pressure here as they get boxed into this hallway. not really able to move too far. And we have TR ready to go again with that Entangling Prism. They can actually get a nice hold here on Diego if they can get a good engagement. We see the CYA come out from Sky Gaming, Invisible Boundary there to meet it, but Chubby is there with the last stand to pick up a 2K off of it, and it is going to be one respawn for Diego, but they are on the back foot right now as Boomer out and Chubby are just tearing through Diego's team right now.
As an Invisible Woman one trick, I absolutely hate playing against Wolverine. The last stand is just the perfect counter to the Invisible Boundary, just able to take many members out of that circle of healing and just wipe them out in a matter of seconds, especially with the help of Van's Legend CYA. We are seeing some really nice placements from Van's Legend, putting them in a spot where you have to look away from his team. We are going to be seeing the Strangling Prison going to be out, finds the 3, comboed again to wipe out Diego live, and this is looking like a full cap. We are going to see the Strangling Prism in response. Runes are going to be able to keep the members of Sky Gaming alive for the time being. BRB is going to be able to bring back Boomer through as well, and that is going to be a team wipe as Sky Gaming full cap. A little bit of some small indie company action there.
Yeah, gotta be careful. I was worried it was going to fall through the map there for a moment.
Yeah.
I was a little concerned. I wonder if that's how it looked from his POV or if it was just a spectator interaction. But that looked like there was just a funny little interaction with the BRB beacon as he spins through it. But you gotta be careful. That could be something that could be something that takes you out.
I thought it was going to be a Riot Games moment right there, and we're going to have to pause and go through the technical issues as it maybe would have affected. I don't think it would have. They weren't going to be able to touch anyway, but very interesting interaction. A bug that I'm going to have to ask him afterwards if what his POV looked like for that, because for us, I thought he was dead. I thought he was Jeff ulted off the map for a moment. Obviously, 28k damage from Boomer Fouts. I'm scared of this Cyclops character. It's making me want to go play him. I can't lie to you, Flannels.
He's incredibly fun to play. You know, it's a little bit of that design creep, power creep that we've been seeing ever since the game released, where they try to make every new character more exciting than the last, and it just results in a character being able to do too much. You know, you look at the original characters of the game, they all have very straightforward designs, very simple kits. They're all very intentional and well-rounded, but then you look at all of the later released characters and they all do so much more than the original release characters that it's just kind of makes them feel lackluster at times unless they have a really aggressive element to them that can offset it, like Wolverine being that, you know, ultimate tank buster, as we see Sky Gaming already getting 2 eliminations here to start things off. Diego trying to come out with the Thor, something you really do not ever see too often, and that's going to be a very tricky one to play into here with these high damage outputs that we see, especially with a thing like a Wolverine, who is definitely just going to be able to kind of bully you a little bit off of that kidnap.
Yeah, but they also are down a player right now, as it doesn't look like Sonic has picked. They are opting not to pause, though, as he has finally started to run out on the Punisher. Although it being 5v6, they did manage to gain a little bit of space. It looks like TK is going to be sticking to this Thor, and like Funnel said, it's just really not a meta pick, especially into this really high damage comp of the Wolf and the Cyclops. We're going to see Sonic getting pretty much instantly taken out, as we are looking to put the pressure on yet again. A really nice kidnap, though, on to Bezo, and that is exactly what Thor does perfectly well. Avery going to be using that Invisible Boundary just to further kidnap Bezo out, but somehow he is able to get out. Never mind, End Song Inferno is going to slam onto his head, but we are currently at a spot in the map where you can TP and get those 3 fights in that you would really like on this first point. Doesn't look like we're going to be using it though, but plenty of ultimates. We have that really nice combo of the Strangling Prism and the Ruby Rampage, so we'll see how that's going to be utilized in this next fight.
I mean, I feel like they're just going to roll out around the corner and just kind of have to pop it. They got to keep them stabilized, though, as it happened. The CYA is out though. There's the Entanglement Prism. They're going to go with the Ruby Rage, and we're looking for a big damage nuke, but the CYA was so well placed that it wasn't at risk of being damaged either. That's great heads up placement on the side of Jaego as they go around this first corner, finding all the eliminations that they want. Well-rounded team effort. Everybody finding eliminations here as they continue the pursuit, and we're going to see Gummy actually chase down this Loki, and that was a really well-placed ultimate by Jaego so that it wasn't at the risk of Boomer's ultimate, the Ruby Rage, being able to just nuke the HP of it, and that allowed to keep their team alive through that entire exchange. So well done to Jaego on that front.
Yeah, that was absolutely perfect. The Strangling Prison hit so many as well, so it's very unfortunate. Two really strong ultimates being used, although the Cyclops is already back to 60%, so it feels like you can just spam that ultimate as much as you want. It doesn't matter if you get value. Nice Gummy is going to be grabbed. Fortunately, though, Sonic is there to take down Chubby Monkey. BRB is going to be able to bring him back, keeping this as a 6v6, but it's very, very close to getting to this third point. We are going to be seeing the God of Mischief coming out. The CYA placed really far up, as we are going to be seeing the last stand going straight into that invisible boundary that Avery has managed to build once again. We are going to be able to take down Sonic, but it's going to be instantly brought back by that BRB and going to be able to get revenge on Chubby Monkey, as Jaego Live are just kind of steamrolling through the second point currently. We are going to be seeing that Ruby Rage coming out once again. CYA from Van's Legend, and Song Inferno is going to be able to take down that CYA though very, very quickly, but Van's Legend is going to be falling to Nice Gummy, as the rest of Sky Gaming are really struggling here. They're kind of getting pushed down, as it's really looking like we're going to be seeing a second round, but match is not over yet. Anything can still happen. Chubby Monkey going to be missing that grab on to Nice Gummy, unfortunately, as they are forced to run away. 4 minutes on the clock.
It really is just one of those situations where Sky Gaming is having an actual difficult time dealing with the Phoenix, and we're going to see them, you know, avoid being on that rocket now any further to try and prevent some of that value coming through from Insane on that Phoenix, who's been able to nullify that CYA every time so far and continue to find eliminations off of the back end of it. As since Sky Gaming is on that Wolverine, there's only really one person to really deal with that Phoenix. Ensong Inferno trying to crash down on the Sky, and here comes the CYA on the side of Jaego. They've got it ready to let fly. They're going to try to take everything out and make this get pushed around the corner. We do have the Meteor M available, but it's just not going to be worth burning right now in this situation, as Insane still finds an elimination and is going to try to continue on their pursuit. And Sky Gaming just being bullied back towards their spot right now. They had such a great offensive push themselves, and great pull there by Avery, not letting Chubby Monkey get away. And Jaego is really just rolling with the momentum here, almost uncontested. Here comes the Meteor M at the last second. They're going to look for a slam down, but they got a bubble protect on the rocket. Does manage to connect it there on Sonic, so on the upper ledge. Boomer able to connect with there on TRH. We see the invisible boundary come out. Chubby trying to get something, but is going to get burned down inside of it. We do have Boomer almost at that Ruby Rage, looking to get it off, but the Ensong Inferno is also ready to let fly by Insane, but he gets taken out by Salty Munch at 2K coming through. That's going to be a big stop here on the side of Sky Gaming here, as they only have 2.5 minutes that they have to hold out for. Big elimination series here coming through by Salty Munch.
Now the fight has finally slowed down. The action has stopped. I can talk about that play. 2 fights to go. Used Salty Much, amazing kill onto Sonic there, just to stagger them back a little bit. But he had that Strangling Prism, and it got instantly blocked by Nice Gummy, so a wasted cooldown there. We do have the Ensong Inferno Meteor M combo, which I haven't seen in a very long time. Used to be the meta, just slam both of those ults down. The Meteor M stopped the enemy team from being able to destroy the Ensong Inferno, but like Flan said, you're not really scared of that. You ask the Wolverine, Salty Much getting scared, though he's going to be using the Strangling Prism combo to wipe out the support. Avery getting taken down, but Nice Gummy is able to find it. They did use that combo. CYA is going to be coming out as well, just for a little bit of extra to confirm these kills, and it looks like we are going to be going to a round 2, as a pretty dominant win from Jaego Live. 1 minute 36 left on the clock as they full cap the point.
It's going to be an interesting overtime situation. Both of these teams have shown that they have the ability to go the distance and take it all the way, but Jaego does have that extra minute, which could be the difference maker here. I really am just seeing, we're just seeing a really incredible performance out of Insane right now, just dominating on the Phoenix. They are getting incredible value off of the Ensong Infernos, but also their just raw neutral throughput is just crushing everything in their wake, not allowing Sky Gaming to ever really get momentum. I mean, it's just free eats for them on things like a Groot and Magneto that are just so immobile and is able to just farm so much damage off of them. So it's going to be an interesting situation here for Sky Gaming. Sky is on the offense first since they do have less time. They only have 1 minute on the clock, 2.5 minutes for Jaego Live. So Sky is going to have to come out swinging and really try to push back Jaego. And we are seeing them off of the Phoenix here for their defense, instead opting for the Elsa right now.
Yeah, we'll see what that Elsa does for them. I believe it's mainly probably to try and counter these aggressive pushes from the Wolverine, but we kind of dissed TK for this Thor pick, but he's been proving us wrong. Just like yesterday, we've been, just like with the Iron Fist, actually, we are once again being shown that sometimes off-meta is still going to be used, and he has just been grabbing people so perfectly. It's been, honestly, just really nice to watch. Absolute comfort pick, I feel. Coming off the group clearly worked out for them. We are seeing a lot of damage coming out already. Forcing off the high ground is kind of exactly what you want there. You don't want the Alpha to have the space, and we are seeing a lot of pushing coming out from Sky Gaming. Getting a lot of space. Boomer going to be able to get a lot of damage, but you Salty Much is actually going to be the first one. The full TK kidnapping that Groot out, as we are going to be seeing him push out with Nissan. Getting on to those supports. Rand's Legend is a little bit in a precarious situation. He's going to be dashed around. Unfortunately, though, they are able to take down TK. BRB is going to be able to bring him back for the time being, as it is currently still a 6v6. Cureness almost has this invisible boundary up. It's going to be the first ult in the game to come up. If they're able to get it, they can maybe trap that Magneto, maybe force a nice Gummy out of the fight. Beto is going to be able to take down Sonic, but not before TK finds another pick on to Chubby Monkey. He is not having a good time there. Visible boundary has now been built up for QG. He's going to be able to use it for his contestant. We are going to be seeing Nice Gummy getting boxed up a little bit here. We're able to take him down. He's currently being healed constantly. The wall is going to be able to secure that kill. Avery force off the high ground as well as the entirety of Jaego being forced back. Chubby Monkey is finally going to be able to find some value, getting revenge on to TK. But Jaego Live has been able to build a lot of ults. They have this CYA Final Judgment combo extremely soon, so that is something to definitely look out for. I'm not really sure how they're going to be able to counter it. Maybe the invisible boundary just to count out the Punisher's line of sight. But you Salty Much getting really close to this Strangling Prism as well. Maybe going to be using it. They need to take out Sonic before Jaego is able to get the CYA. Strangling Prism going to be able to find 5. They combo as he kills only 1. Unfortunately, we're going to see invisible boundary coming out from both teams. CYA, Jaego Live all pressing Q. They want to end the push right here, right now, and they are be able to find 2 with the God of Thunder, and now it's just all up to Sonic to clean up the fight, and that is going to spell at the end of the Sky Gaming's push. About as far as you'd expect them to get with a minute.
Well, I mean, considering that they were in overtime from all the way back near their spawn doors, that's a solid push for there, but that would have been where you would have liked to have been when the overtime was activated, but they have to hold for a very strong defense here. Now, the 2.5 minutes is a good bit of time, but it is very doable. It is very much so winnable. It's, you know, we can see teams get held up, but Insane has been doing absolute wonders there on the Elsa, but also we're seeing some nice value out of TRHK. It's, you know, it's a bit hit or miss with that Thor. You're either able to get those kidnaps and find that value, or you find yourself a little bit out of position and get taken out, but that does allow for the BRB to get you right back into the fray. So hopefully you don't have any other vital people get taken out in exchange, but they're not going to be looking to use Thor this time on offense, it looks like.
Yeah, they don't want to risk it, it seems. I mean, the Groot is just such a powerful pick, especially when comboed with that Glottrox, just being able to guarantee those kills and those grabs with it. I do like the switch here on Sky Gaming, get it off of that Wolverine onto the Punisher instead. Unfortunately, though, they are still... Oh, no, they are now on the Rocket, so now they do have the combo for their own. They saw how much value it got Jaego Live. We are going to be seeing him setting up that turret, trying to get a lot of damage. Jaego Live looks like they want to push this high ground. It does mean that Salty Much and Bezo are able to just stall the point as long as they want, really. No one is taking him out of the turret. Chubby Monkey just getting so much value with this turret. Almost 50 50% ult charge already finally going to be taken out of it as he's forced away, getting scarily low. TK getting a little bit too aggressive. Salty's going to be able to take him out as well as Elsa, as Boomer finds the kick on to Diego as we see the first team fight win going towards Sky Gaming. The point barely even pushed as they decided to take this high ground route, which means that they didn't have possession of the point.
Yeah, Jago needing to get some pressure out here. We're seeing Insane going to the high ground, trying to get some picks here on Boomer. They do have Lanterns burned already, and already there it goes. TRH is down right away. He tried to get in that back line and apply pressure, but just got immediately nuked out. Shelby finding elimination as well, and it is just going to be Sonics down. The CYA is out, but they're down 2 players currently. There's nothing there to take out that CYA, but they still burn through it overall. The only losing one in that exchange from Insane, but Boomer is going to get revived off the BRB, so it's not necessarily too much loss at this time. We do have the Entangling Prism available, and we have the CYA out on the side of Sky Gaming there. The Invisible Boundary is up by Jago to hold them in the meantime, but they're just going to hold off and hold that Entangling Prism ready to come out of this building and grab them now that the ultimate of the Invisible Boundary is down, and they can go fully aggressive. There it is. We see the Glartrox coming through, though. Boomer does manage to select one. Insane takes out Sygems, and we still have a pursuit of Sky Gaming taking out Insane, and they are just not letting Jago get this easily. They are not giving up and giving free ground. Still 30 seconds to go. This can still be stopped, and it's still looking like it is possible for Sky Gaming here.
I'm really not sure what is going on with these support ults. Amazing stagger onto Sonic. He's not going to be alive for this final match. They are going to be TPing in, trying to look to cancel it. He is going to be able to get it off, though, unfortunately for them. Jaeger's going to fall, though. This is not good. You need your rocket alive. That BRB just gets so much value. Final Judgment is going to be coming out of the portal. Meteor M from Nice Gummy is going to be able to protect him for the time being. Chubby Monkey is going to be using the Final Judgment of his own. Meteor M is not able to take him out. Just not enough damage for the time being. But the protection onto Sonic was perfect. Not allowing him to fall. You Salty Much is going to be rezzed by that BRB. We are seeing a TP probably going to be set up by Chubby Monkey. You Salty Much needs to back away as soon as possible. Boomer able to take down Jago again. Jago is just not able to catch a break. Neshat is able to trade out, though, as Avery is in a really precarious situation. Extremely Low is able to get that health back to keep herself alive for the time being, but being the only support you have alive for Jago Live, she cannot afford to die. CYA finally being built by Franz Legend is going to be able to take down Sonic. Nessun is soon to fall in with no TP left. This is not looking good. Avery manages to build the Invisible Battery in time, though, just to keep the team alive for the time being. TK so close to this Ivogamoto. We are going to be seeing the CYA being broken. Ivogamoto is now built. Straggling Prison is going to be blocked by TK. No value once again by you, Salty, and with no other ults really built, he can't really afford to make anything happen. It finds exactly who they wanted as the support is going to fall, and now You Salty Much is going to be built back by the BRB, but I think it is all over for Sky Gaming as Jaeger Live just need to get these final kills. We are going to be seeing Boomer finds 2, but it's not enough as Jaeger Live cap the point. They may have floundered their support ults early, but with 2 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock, they had enough time to build them back and clutch it out. An extremely close match, though. I'm so glad that we got to catch this, Flannels.
That was an exciting ending to that series. Overall, it came right down to the wire into an overtime bout. Very exciting match between the two teams. They should both be thrilled with their performances. We're seeing, though, a lot of damage coming through there from Scott Summers with 65,000 damage, 27 finals. Even had a penta at one point, but it was a very great team effort across the board on both sides. Boomer obviously had the exceptional level above, but we saw a very well-rounded performance from everybody. Dual final hits coming through across the board, but it was a very tough situation. Jaeger Live did a really great job contesting time and time again to extend that offensive push, and it really did come down to having that extra little bit of time that Sky Gaming didn't have for their turn on offense.
After I saw them waste that CYA after 2 had died, I thought it was all over for Jaeger. I'm going to be so honest with you, but that TP was enough to bring them back. And honestly, the entire squad, the Avengers assembled to protect Sonic's final judgment and allowed him to get the value he needed. But we only watched one map, so this is going to be very difficult to pick. But we are going to select our MVP now. I think I'm honestly gonna have to put in my 2 cents as I really think Avery deserves this MVP. Just so many great invisible boundaries. A lot of what we like to see from the Invisible Woman is these super aggressive invisible boundaries to try and kidnap one of the enemy tanks, and we saw her do that so often and constantly keeping Chubby Monkey off her tanks, not allowing him to get any value with these grabs was just absolute perfection. No messing up at all from her, as I think she deserves the MVP. But what do you think, Flannels?
Your Invisible Woman OTP bias aside for it, I'm fine with that. I think Avery did a very good job, and there were multiple times where we saw Avery able to save their team from getting kidnapped by that Wolverine with some very vital pulls at critical moments. But I do want to, definitely mention that I don't think their offensive push happens as well as it did without Insane on that Phoenix performance. But Avery
That's true.
was very much so involved with that success. So I very much so am totally fine giving this MVP to Avery.
Hell yeah, I'm always gotta rep my fellow supports, okay? As Avery is gonna be our MVP. We do have the next match pretty much already set up and ready, but do give us 5 minutes just to catch our breath, grab some water, but don't go anywhere as you are about to see Jaego back in action once again as they face off against Fraka in the semi-finals. But for now, be right back. Bye-bye. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are now at the semi-finals. What has happened in the break? The semi-finals of the Shockwave tournament. I am currently losing it, so would you like to introduce the team's finals?
Yeah, we've got here for in our semifinals in the upper side of the bracket. On the opposite side, we have the Fracca going up against Jaego. Exciting series here. We are looking at an interesting situation. We've got Jaego, they're a full, they are a full PC group. But we have, meanwhile, Fracca is running a full console team, a mix of Xbox and PlayStation. So it's going to be interesting to see how they perform going up against it, going up in that debate of console v PC.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen this a lot in our previous tournaments, not the actual last Shockwave tournament, but in these 3-day double elim tournaments that we used to run, we would get a lot of console teams coming in. Unfortunately, though, I don't think any have actually ever made it to top three. So currently, it means that Fracka are actually have the new record of making it the furthest as a console team. We are going to be going straight into it. Fracka aren't actually from Mexico, so we've got some Spanish speakers in here today, which has been really fun to me as a non-Spanish speaker. Trying to get this set up, we are going to be heading over to Krakoa for our first map of the series, and I am extremely excited to see what is going to happen here. It's going to be a best of three as per our last matches, and we'll see what happens.
I'm excited that it's just not Clintar. So we get a nice, we get a nice, spacious, open map, lots of room to work with. But most interestingly is going to be what these two teams are going to prioritize for their picks and bans, since we've already seen very different spectrums of the ban phases. In our first series, we saw some targeted stuff and some other things led through. We saw nobody even bother with Devil Dino, but Scott was still very much, a priority pick. But then in our next series, we saw people banning out the Devil Dino. We saw, Gambit not being let through. That was our default first ban. And that's what we're seeing here right now is that default first ban Gambit. But, I'm curious to see if any of these teams are going to opt to run that Dino, because even when it did get through and was permitted and even saved by one of the teams, they quickly swapped off of it.
Yeah, they did. It was very interesting that they saved it, they prioritized it, it made sure that they had that unfair dinosaur, but decided it was just really not worth playing it as they were just struggling so much into these really high damage characters. We are going to be seeing a rocket save for the side of Jaego Live, and not a rocket save for Fracka, but they might have been doing their research watching that last match, as we are going to be seeing the Punisher banned out. So Sonic not going to be able to use that CYA combo this time around. We haven't seen a rocket ban come through from Jaego Live yet either, which is something that we usually see when saving that rocket, because an unfair rocket is just so powerful. Having that CYA is just so nice. I'll be very surprised if Jaego Live don't want to ban it here. They aren't going to. We are going to be seeing what we talked about last map, sorry, where we are going to be having the dino, the one-sided dino for Fracka here. We'll see if they are able to do more with it than Jaego Live were able to, and try and maybe find some success. It'll just look like we're going to be having a Loki, so the double CYA is going to be extremely oppressive and kind of scary to play into. We'll see what the last ban for Fracka is going to be.
It's definitely an aggressive approach on the side of Jaego Live. I'm not terribly surprised by the Devil Dino save, just because Dino is, given that Fracka is all on console, Dino is a very console-friendly Vanguard to be able to play compared to others, but they are not going to allow the Scott Summers through. But that's not something that they're going to have to worry about necessarily, because it was left open for Jaego Live, and they still didn't opt to play it. However, we are going to get to see why Sky Gaming was wanting to ban out Sonics on that Spider-Man specifically, as it is allowed through right now, and they are going to be locking that in quicker than anything else at this time. And we're seeing a couple positional changes at the moment based on the vanguards that are allowed through. Clearly, Insane is feeling a bit more comfortable when it comes to having Emma Frost available, as TRK is going to actually go and opt into being their rocket this time around.
You know, I really like seeing flexible teams like this in Marvel Rivals, especially with not having the role queue. It kind of forces you to learn multiple roles, and when that comes into team play, it usually means that you're going to have certain character specialists be able to switch between their roles. And we're going to see how TR.
Oh,
Oh, going to be. I jinxed it. I'm so sorry. They are going to be bringing out the Thor again. I mean, never mind. I was about to say how much I loved watching
speaking
him
too soon.
perform on the
Speaking
floor.
too soon.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's classic Casticus. We are actually going to be seeing this spider mirror here. Not something that you see very often, actually. I mean, console players do like their Spider-Man. I have noticed quite a lot. This is a very high-ranked console team as well, so we'll see what value they can get with it here. As we go into the first fight, Sonic is going to be able to get a lot of damage straight onto the backline, but actually gets grounded by the thing. Is able to escape with the tip of his tail there. A lot of damage coming on to Lollery. He's actually the first one to fall. Diego able to find that pick off of the support roll on to the Bucky. Sonic having a little bit of a duel with his counter right now. Going to be able to take the health back just to bring himself back to full health. Glint, though, struggling on this dino. Oh my god, Sonic is actually going to be taken down. This thing is not letting up, not letting him breathe. Harrow going to be able to take down Diego as well, using that Cyclops advantage there to put the damage out, and clearly is working, although Jaeger Live is still, I was about to say they're still standing strong, but they're actually all back in spawn, and Fraka are going to cap the point. A little bit of a spider 1v1 here.
Yeah, not for a 1v1 for very long, as we get some reinforcements coming in from Diego there to finish him off. You know, the interesting thing here with the Scott Summers, our beautiful Cyclops new character, is he's actually kind of advantageous into Diego with that Loki, since he's going to be able to easily get those ricochets to connect on the clones, to connect to other targets as needed. Sonics is going to be using that BRB right away, but Shivas is already going to take out Insane. So that BRB did bring back Sonics, but now we are going to lose Diego, and Diego Insane is actually going to be swapping off of that rocket and moving over to that Luna Snow. So I'm wondering if he's going to be more aggressive, and we're seeing trades come through all across the board, but Fraka is still holding the advantage at this time, but Diego is trying to make their way onto the point. TR is going to be able to take down Lol, and it's going to be still a back and forth exchange. The point has not flipped. We're at 50% for Fraka. Sonics managing to finally take out Thing, but it's still Fraka contesting onto the point. We have Nuka is just doing a really great job of being able to heal their team from off the point, but now has to try to survive as Diego lets out the Galactic Legend and finds a double elim here, and that is going to allow Diego to finally flip the point for the first time and get control. 61% gain for Fraka. That's a really nice starting percentage to have.
I really don't know how I feel about Diego switching off of this rocket advantage, as he is just such a strong pick. We've seen so much success with it, but we'll see if this Luna is going to be able to do any better. We are seeing Sonic just sat up on the backline trying to look for a support. Did have a lot of success, especially against this Invis Nuke, going to be taken out. Giant Glint needs to be careful, though, has to use that shield to keep himself alive for the time being. We do have the ultimate available. Rampage is going to be coming out as well as a turn-up on, just to get a lot of pressure. We are going to be seeing Fit of Both Worlds as well from Insane, just to keep the team nice and healthy for the time being. With so many ults up and available, you don't really have to be too scared. Clobbering Time is going to be able to connect onto two of the runes, is going to be able to get them alive for the time being. Right, Copy is coming out as well. Fit of Both Worlds, as well as the Star Extraction. Unfortunately, not going to be able to really find too much value as the invisible boundary just kept up, and Haru gets his ult cancelled. No Ruby Rampage for him, as we are going to be seeing a grab onto them from Gummy here. Diego doing a lot of damage in. Spider going to be trying to put a lot of ult. Freedom Charge is going to be able to get them alive for the time being. They're going to be swarmed with the ult of their own. Again, absolutely no value from it. That thing does not care. Those Spider Tracers tickle his rock solid body. We're going to be seeing Diego having a little bit of a 1v1 with an Elsa here, as they have decided to switch off of the Cyclops truly not finding as much value as they want to. We're going to see Diego protecting Insane from the clutches of the Dinosaur. Galactic Legend going to be coming out trying to clean up the fight. They want to end it here as there's only 15% left on the clock. So if they're able to stop them from getting this TP off, they could just win first point right here, right now.
They're going to need to get this TP off quickly. 95%. They are going to be able to contest it overall. They're going to have everybody ready to jump through. We see Sonics trying to come in from the backside, actually, and flank. Look to get a pick himself. Maharu, got to be careful here on the Elsa. They don't have any stacks to start things off, so they're not going to be super mobile, and they're going to get taken out there by Diego. A little tag team action happening. They're going to put the pressure on the backside on Nukin, but they're not quite able to find that elimination. Instead, Diego is going to fall. It's a 1-for-1 trade, 5v5 battle on the point. Sonic's pursuing those strategists, but is going to get taken out with the help of the Thing, but it is still 1 kill apiece coming across the board. They are going to look to actually get a TP here from Fraka. Actually, they're going to swap off of that strange. They had just used their TP, and Haru's still managing to find the elimination on Tier HK. The Eternal Bond is through by Diego. They're going to be able to keep things going on this point. A nice fade out there by the Cloak and Dagger in order to keep that Eternal Bond alive, so they're not going to get it taken away. But Avery is getting really low, has to pop lanterns, managing to just get away, and it's still Fraka looking to contest this point. Yet an Insane does fall. Glint taking one out as well. Avery finally being eliminated. Haru now has their stacks rolling, and they are in hot pursuit of the members of Diego as they are going to flip the point back into their control. So while Fraka does get this back, Diego still has plenty of time to be able to take control back and secure the win.
I feel like that was a
beautiful
bit...
elimination there by Haru.
Oh my god. A little bit of miscommunication from Diego. It seems like Avery thought that TP was going to be coming through, so decided to commit the God of Mischief. But I think saving that ultimate would have been so nice. Having that support ult advantage coming into this final fight would have really put a Fraka in a tough situation, especially as they don't have their freedom charge at the moment. We are going to be seeing the Glotrucks coming out. A little bit of a 1v1 in the backline here between the Cap. Sonic Seduction is going to be coming out. Harry managed to take down Jaeger. Insane has already fallen. Invisible Android going to be coming out from Nuka. Freedom charge from Itchy, sorry, from Jaeger Live. Clobbering Time isn't able to connect onto anybody, but I don't think it really matters as most of the members of Jaeger Live are already taken out. Unfortunately, they have so many ults available, they're just not able to use them. Galactic Legend is going to be coming out, not able to take out anyone so long as Nuke and Jen is going to be able to take it down at TK. Diego finally getting a pick as Insane is going to be able to take down Haru. Traded out though as the Thing is just punching through Diego Live. TP is going to be coming out from Nice Gummy. They are going to be able to keep the contestation going for the time being. Nice Gummy though getting scarily low already. White Fox is going to be used here just for the stall, trying to get in, get a lot of healing. Of Fate of Both Worlds is going to be coming out from Insane, going to be keeping them alive for the time being, but they really need to find these picks within this ult, because as soon as it's over, we're going to be seeing Shivas come out with the Spider-Man ultimate. It's going to get frozen, but Diego C9, the point is going to be Fraka taking it away from them. Amazing freeze, but fortunate C9.
Yeah, I mean, it was a beautiful freeze in the middle of his ultimate, stopped it entirely, but like you said, everybody kind of just scattered a little too far. They did a great job spreading out, but they did a little too good of a job spreading out overall. But we definitely have a very competitive match here between these two teams. Fraka taking this first map on domination, but it was not an easy take for them by any means. We're gonna be interesting to see how they adjust to it right now. Shivas looking like they have this advantage right now over Sonics in the Spidey v Spidey exchange, but Haru coming into form on this Elsa. It's all about getting those stacks up so that they can just be able to be a mobile menace and just find those eliminations, which we saw towards the end, being able to just pick off Diego on that Star-Lord when they were trying to escape back to their team.
We are going to be seeing a triple DPS lineup coming out here from Diego Live, maybe trying to deal with the very big head hitboxes of the Dino. Instant pick from Shivazavella on to Insane. Diego Gonna be whiffing that stun. Sonic is currently just AFK in the spawn, still perplexed as to how his support died so fast. We are gonna be seeing TK able to take down Harry. Shivas is gonna find TK as well, absolutely popping off on this Spider-Man. Sonic still AFK in the spawn. Clobbering time is gonna be coming out, able to find two. The Kamiho Unleashed is not gonna be able to do too much, as we are gonna be seeing Fraka cap the point as the Kamiho Unleashed has been destroyed. Avery forced to TP out. No cooldowns left alive for the supports, unfortunately for them. Nice Gummy gonna be trapped, hurled around, CC'd constantly. Diego soon to follow, as it looks like this fight is not going well. A 5v6 is not optimal here. Shives finally taken out.
That's a good pick there on Shivas, you know, being a little too aggressive, overextending a little bit. Unfortunately, we are having a difficult situation here for Jaego, it looks like, at the moment. We don't know what's going on with their team. Gummy getting caught in that Elsa trap. But Fraka right now are very much in control of this match for the time being. It all started with the pull-off, and there is going to be the pause coming through. So
Yeah.
we're going to wait a moment, see if Sonic's had a little bit of a DC, try to get them back in here. But right now, things do very much so look to be in favor of Fraka, and Sonics does seem to be back, and we are going to be getting right back into the action for you all.
Yep, instantly back in. A lot of wasted time, though. 50% on the point. Nice Gummy going to be hugged in by, yeah, this very, very nice hook onto them. Shivers just doing so much value on this Spider-Man. We are seeing two of them. On Sonic is able to take down one. Avery finds a Shivers as well. It is now a 4v5, as now Rampage is going to be used just to keep themselves alive for the time being. This Devil Dino getting very, very low. Glint needs to be careful. Avery is picking up many kills here, showing why she was the MVP from the last map. Eternal Bond is going to be coming out as well, as the Horn approaches, able to wipe out that Eternal Bond. Insane. We are going to be seeing the Spider-Man ultimate charmed away, but not before being able to get the revenge for his cloak and dagger. Glint getting really low, though, going to be using the Stampede to get that extra health, but it's not enough. You have 5 people shooting at you. That extra shield is not going to help you out too much, as we are finally seeing Fraka being forced away from the point. Still contesting it, though. Flip is going to be coming through here. Spider-Man, Sonic are going to be able to get one pick on to Nuken. Going to be backing away for the time being, though.
Yeah, nice exchange there. Jaego finally getting control of the point. They're definitely committing to a full offensive front. They are running, you know, a double Vanguard now. They are on this Van Pool, which is a good option for a very aggressive frontline Vanguard. And very quickly, we see a kidnap here coming through. Meteor M being popped to try and keep themselves alive, throwing it off of the backside. Not able to find anybody for any value of it other than to keep themselves alive. But Sonics does fall in the exchange of the Spider-Mans. Glartrox is out looking to find a couple eliminations, but it's going to get destroyed. And it is just now a brawl out on the point. Thing trying to beat down Magneto and already make him more immobile than he already is. Insane gets taken out. Avery managing to find Glint once again taken down, and it is just going to be still Jaego live maintaining control of this point through sheer offensive pressure.
Yeah, even being down a player at the start seems to not affect them that much. I may have just cursed it, as they are now down a player once again. 5v6 coming into this next fight. No ults up and available for Fraka, though, as the invisible boundary was cancelled last fight. EK getting really close to this corner approach. It is going to be Shivers who gets the first kill onto Insane Glint. Going to be CCing up Nice Gummy here, but it does not matter, as Sonic and TK are just getting kill after kill after kill. Lolo is going to be falling. Haru does manage to find Nice Gummy finally, though, but TK is just on such a nice position here. They are going to be able to flip the point, though, as they do finally take out TK. And with only 8% left, it looks like Jaego Live are going to have to TP. It is going to be Jaego setting up that TP. Sonic has this all up and ready. Looks like they're going to have to touch the point, though, to get it into overtime, so they can get this TP coming out. Eternal Bond is up and available for Lole, though. Jaego Live, no ult yet. Avery is the closest. If they're able to take down this White Fox, they cannot use that Kamiho Unleashed to stay alive. They are going to be wiping them out. 3 to fall for them. 9% remaining for Avery. They are going to be able to get that Kamiho Unleashed just in time, but not before their entire team has been taken out. Glartrox is going to be coming out as visible boundary as well. Clobbering time. Everything is going to be used on Avery to take down that Kamiho. As looks like Fraka is going to take map 1.
And the domination series is going to go to the favor of Fraka. They played it very well. You know, even if we don't have Sonics there for that exchange, I think that It still very much so could have gone to the favoritism of Fracka. They seem to just be having, we're seeing this MVP here on Shivas. They're doing a phenomenal job here on the Spider-Man, and it all started with the opening play, pulling Insane off the map, immediately taking away one of the backline members. And, there's something really impressive here that we're seeing on this scoreboard, and that is a thing with only one death. Uh,
Oh my god.
while
How?
everybody else on the team had six or more. So, El Frijo did a phenomenal job of staying alive and being able to contest as much as they need to, but not getting messed up by it by any means. So that's a really impressive thing on their part, but maybe also just a testament to how well Fracka was able to maintain control and contest as frequently as they were.
Yeah, it definitely was an impressive thing indeed. Unkillable Demon King. Not something that you really expect from a Thing players. Usually the one with the highest death. Such a vulnerable character. Obviously does have a lot of dashes, but such a big hitbox just allows them to wipe them out. But clearly the triple DPS just wasn't enough damage to be able to contest the Thing. I did really like the switch by TK though. The triple DPS did seem to be working, but ultimately um Fracka had just built up so many ultimates throughout that entire time where Sonic was AFK that just allowed them to easily reclaim the point and win it all. Although it was a fairly close match, and I'm interested to see where Jaeger are going to take us for this map too.
Yeah, I mean, you really got to think about whether or not you want to go to a place that is going to let you get value on Spider-Man, if that's something that you're going to try to lean into more for Sonics, or if you want to move away from that and go for something, back into the line of the hit scan and running, your Punisher alongside, Phoenix or Bucky, just more overall consistent pressure rather than looking for individualized picks, if you will.
Yeah,
So
we are gonna see that unkillable Thing player actually get subbed out for this map too. A little bit of a switch on the Vanguard side. They are currently selecting their map. It was hovering Lower Manhattan, which I would have loved to see. I know you would have hated it, but we are gonna be heading over to Central Park, Scrims Park, if you will, as we do pretty much always see this map being played in Ignite, in tournaments, in scrims. It is just the most common, most practiced convergence map. I am honestly not too sure why players love this map so much. I actually really hate it. I hate how enclosed the first point is, and the third point is just ridiculously hard to push, which we saw yesterday. It just 5 minutes on the clock, managing to drain it down by 4 minutes just on that final point. But we'll see how Jaego and Fracka are able to play this.
and we are still going to see that Gambit ban come through first. I'm very curious to see if what Jaego felt like was the most difficult thing for them to deal with against Fracka, if it was the Dino, if it was Spider-Man, and if they go for any of those bans instead, they're actually going to opt to save Dino themselves this time. They maybe want to go for a Dino mirror if they can, if they feel like they can get that advantage in this exchange. But it was definitely an interesting situation seeing Dino Thing as a tandem. It's a very uncommon thing to see, and instead we're going to see an early Emma ban into an Emma save for one-sided Emma. They're feeling very confident about playing into the Dino with it, and so it's going to be one-sided Emma against one-sided Dino. Emma is another very common controller Vanguard that people like to play, so they know what works for them and what doesn't, and they're sticking with it.
I was gonna say I would prefer the Emma in this situation, as it feels like it's such a hard counter to Dino even before the nerf, but with the nerf it's even worse now, as I believe there was an Emma buff, or I might be thinking about last patch, I can't lie. I've got both of them just muddled in my head right now. We are going to be seeing that Elsa ban as well, and no longer going to be allowing that Elsa to be played. Looks like we're going to be seeing a save on the Spider-Man, actually going to be switching out for the Cyclops instead, which we didn't actually see that much last map. They opted to switch onto the Elsa, but with the Elsa banned, maybe they just kind of want to protect that Cyclops, get a bit more practice on it, and see if they can have more success than they did last map. We are going to be seeing no Rocket in this map. Both teams have banned it out. Now we're going to be seeing what Jaeger Live want to save here. I would love to see maybe a Penny, maybe a Loki is a good option as well. Just for Loki is so great on this map. Just so many nice high grounds and places that you can play it out. Looks like we're going to be seeing a normal ban. Never mind, they changed it to a Mantis ban. I cannot blame them. Triple support is really painful to play into, and with the Ultron nurse is just a Mantis triple support meta, as it always is, to be honest with you.
You know, I like the ban save side on both teams. I don't know about the Rocket ban. I know that you don't want to have a one-sided Rocket, so you kind of have to in this situation. But that Mantis ban is a really nice one being applied to the side of Jaego as well. I really think they could have gone multiple different ways with that final ban if they really wanted to take something away from Jaego. I am looking forward to seeing Phoenix coming through, which is not going to be the case, as instead they are going to be opting into maybe more of a spawn break type situation, as Moon Knight is very good on this map. It's a very good map for Moon Knight, and you know, I'm very curious to see how Shivas is going to come out with this Scott Summers, our beautiful Cyclops individual, because Shivas was a Spider-Man player. Usually Spider-Man players are not hit scan players. So I'm interested to see how this performance goes for him. And immediately we see Sonics coming out looking for that flank on the Spider-Man right away, looking to take advantage of that mobility.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, very interesting that Shivas is actually the one that is going to be playing Cyclops here. Last map, it was Harrow on the Cyclops, but that Dino is going to be instantly melted by Glint. The Emma just putting so much damage. Sonic not able to really find anything, just has to back away, as already 2 members of Jaeger Live have been lost, and it looks like Fracka want to keep pushing this. They want to get these staggers on board. They noticed that Jaeger Live were not backing as much as they should have, so they used that and capitalized on it just to keep getting those kills, returning them back to Saborn.
That was beautiful. I really want to shout out Nukem on that. We're really setting everything up there. Shivas went up and applied the pressure and was bringing down 2 targets, and Nukem pulled them in out of the line of sight from the main opening and allowed those people to get finished off. And Nukem, you know, went in for a multi-elim for themselves, and Sonics is trying to get a finishing blow here on the backline by themselves, but just cannot get that last bit of damage needed. But there's so much Phoenix pressure coming through, but Shivas is still in turn firing heavily with this Cyclops damage, just being able to ricochet around and individually pick people apart as well. Jaego and Haru exchanging. Haru getting the better of them in that exchange. The Eternal Bond coming through from Avery on that copy. They're going to use this to try and force themselves onto point, and Tangly Prism through as well, but the invisible boundary is up and they're protected. They're not going to find any eliminations through that, and Haru, though, was already dead. It does have their Insong Inferno for when they get back, and here comes the Psionic Seduction in the opening. They do manage to grab the crucial pick on Insane there, which is going to take down that backline for Jaego. So the members of Jaego Live have to secure some eliminations here. They managed to take out Lole, and that's going to be a big pickup, equalizing the one strategist on each side now. Glint managing to take out Trick, Value taking out Gummy, and that is going to be still Fracka maintaining their advantage despite the exchanges.
Fracka are just playing this so well. They knew that they were down in numbers, so they backed away, gave a little bit of space for Jaego Live, and just allowed Glint to really shine there and get that really nice pick. Nice Gummy is going to be finally switching off of that Devil Dinosaur. Going to be seeing TK get off the group as well. Going to be going on to the Stranger for this team up. Very powerful team up still. A lot of damage that can come through. Sonic does have his ultimate here, really wants to look for a pick on the supports, especially now that he knows that they don't have it, is going to be missing that Spider Tracer, not able to get that engage. Shivas is going to be going in with the Ruby. Rage is going to be wiping out Insane. Sonic going to be falling to Harrow as well. Jaego going to be picking up a double kill for Shivas. as Avery just in a sticky situation once again has to use runes, and with only a minute left on the clock, this is not looking good for Jaeger Live. The pressure is truly on right now. The ball is in their court. They need to do something. They cannot afford to keep getting staggered like this. Shivas is going to be forced out though, going to be saved by his mag. Avery going to be using the God of Mischief, Eternal Bond here, going to be rushing in. Meteor M is going to be coming out from Value, going to be trying to find them. They are going to be able to get away inside the room. World Breaker Hulk coming out here. Shiver's going to be falling as well to Avery, who does manage to get a 2k. Sonic going to be able to find Harrow as Nice Gummy is trying to look for this invisible woman. Is going to be taken out. Shivers going to be TPing in. Does not get cancelled as the bubble is going to stop them. And they're also going to get to pick onto Sonic. Sonic's look, he's going to be coming out straight through it. They are down a player. Invisible Boundary going to be coming out from Nuka as well. And this is not looking good for Jaeger Live. Tracker are playing this so well. So much advantage for them, especially with Sonic not being able to cancel that TP. It's just losing a crucial player. Harrow, really nice shot onto Avery. Jaeger as well, getting a triple kill for Harrow, trying to look for Sonic now, who's just kind of dancing around in the backline, stalling the point as much as possible. Sonic, really low value, going to be able to finish him off as well as Nice Gummy is the only one alive. The Hulk trying to keep this up. Endsong Inferno is going to be coming out from Jaeger as the TP did come out. Harrow responds with the Endsong Inferno from his salve, able to get Bruce Banner out of the game. Visual Boundary coming out from Insane here, as they are going to be able to take down Harrow. A little bit of a Phoenix 1v1 copy is going to be coming out from Lolly. Invisible Boundary from them. Glint, though, able to take down Shivers, going to be able to take down Jaeger as well. This is a very even fight currently, as Jaeger still have a lot of members alive. Shivers, though, extremely close to this Ivogamoto. TK did miss his push away from Insane there. Perfect push, stopping the value from the Ivogamoto. Gonna be able to take the off point. Sonic gonna be able to finish the kill onto them as well. Still a few members stalling the point for Fraka right now, stopping Jaeger from being able to cap it. They want to end it here. They do not want to get any room. It's come so close to be able to fully defend, but with Glint falling, that means that Jaeger are going to be able to finally cap the point.
That was a very well thought out stall on the side of Fraka. They really managed to contest that for such a long time, and it all started with being able to protect that TP, but Jaeger was able to persevere quite well. They got a very vital Endsong Inferno off that allowed them to secure 2 eliminations to give them the edge in order to just continue the process of staggering Fraka out, and now they're looking to continue to make use of that momentum as they're here in the backside. Shivas, though, managing to take out Nice Gummy, who was pressuring them on the back end with the dive now, trying to help this Spider-Man get some extra value. That's the main thing, is that, you know, Sonics has been solo diving this entire time with no assistance, and that's a really difficult thing to do. So now having a Venom to help assist you can really change the pacing of that, as the Eternal Bond copy is out by Avery, being met by the Invisible Boundary as they're trying to get this payload around this first corner on the second checkpoint. And this is going to be Nice Gummy finding one there on Nukem. That's a big backline down. Haru being taken out by the Galactic Legend, looking for another one. Double elim for Jaeger, make it a triple, going for 4. Are they going to secure it? They do. Quad, and Sonics is going to be there to clean up number 5, and that is going to be Jaeger Live moving into this point.
That interesting. We are getting a little info in from production that TRK is invisible, but Jaeger playing the map perfectly. After you capture that first point, you really want to use your momentum to keep it rolling, and Jaeger did that so well. Nuka going to be able to get the push off onto Sonic, sending that Spider-Man flying to his doom. A little bit of revenge there for all the times he has pulled members off the map. Shivers getting a lot of value on this corner with the multiple beam. I really love that they added another character that counters Loki. Moon Knight apparently was not enough. Jaeger, though, going to be able to get away with the barely skin of his teeth. Finally going to be taken out by Haru. Sonic looking for a pull off the map. Is going to miss and actually fall off the map himself. Definitely not a moment that you want captured live on stream, but our production was on him at the perfect time. Thank you, Baseline.
Yeah, it's always an embarrassing thing to have happen, but it happens to the best of them. You know, there are even players in Marvel Rivals Ignite at the highest level that we have seen fall off the map. So don't worry too much about it. It quite literally happens to the best of us. But now it is on Fraka to finally having stopped the momentum of Viego. Viego having been held for so long on that first point, were able to roll with momentum through that second point quite comfortably. Here comes the Ruby Rage through the doorway, able to get, clones taken down, but nothing else definitively secured. Viego now on Cyclops as well, trying to match it here through these tight corridors where it's going to be really easy to connect on shots, where people are going to be playing in a very predictable manner. Glint is the first one to fall. The Eternal Bond a little too late to save them. Sonics, though, does have Spider-Man ult ready to go. Maybe going to get it popped off here. Has to escape. Unfortunately, now they're retaliating with their own copy of the Eternal Bond, using it to get up this stairwell. This is the hardest part of the push, this tight choke. And there comes the Ruby Rage through it. He finds a triple kill off of it. That's a huge elimination series here for Viego, and that is going to allow them to get some distance on this payload finally up the ramp. But it's so far back that they're not even going to be able maybe to get to the top of the stairs. They're going to get held at the doorway into the final throne room. This is going to come down to Viego trying to make a big last moment push as time is running down.
Absolutely amazing Ruby Rampage from Viego. Fraka, though, have a lot of ultimates under their belt, all for only one support ultimate. The Invisible Boundary Spider is going to be coming out, able to save themselves, though, with the Invisible Boundary for the time being. Insane Storm Inferno is going to be coming out. Shiva's able to take down Sonic with the help of the grab from Glint. Value just sitting on the top, poking Avery down, as we are going to be seeing Glint going with the Sonic seduction. Not able to get past this very invisible strange shield here. So we are going to force out the Runestone. You can able to take down Nice Gummy as well, and this is really not looking good for Viego Live. They are going to have that TP being set up. Oh, never mind. Sorry, they're already on stream. They can't set up a TP. This is even worse. We are going to see the meteor slammed onto Viego's face. No more carrying for him. No more multi-kills for Viego as they do push it to the second point. I want to make it known, though, that that is the hardest part of this map to push. So not getting it all the way doesn't necessarily mean you have lost. Still very much a chance for Viego Live to clutch this out and defend Fraka from winning.
It's a very winnable match for Viego in this situation, but it's also still very winnable for Fraka. They literally just have to push it further. It's so important on Convergence and Convoy maps being able to push the payload the entire distance, because it sets the precedence of that you just have to be able to make that final stop. You can just stall them out time and time again. You can quite literally go with the idea of throwing yourselves at the point time and time again to burn time down, and then all you have to do is win that last fight in order to be able to take the victory when you're on that defensive side if you push it the whole way. So now Viego, they have to be on top of their game. They can't let it go easy.
We are going to be seeing the pause being used here as Sonic has DC'd once again, but I actually have some incoming news from the opposite side of the bracket. Looking for Exposure was able to win their match, and they are going to be waiting in the grand finals for either Viego Live or Fraka to try and face them. So it is going to be looking for Exposure in the grand finals. Are you surprised, Flannels, after watching them play that first round?
I am not terribly surprised by that outcome. I am curious to know how dominant they were in their exchange with their opponent. But I'm thinking that we're going to see a competitive matchup either way between these two teams. It will be interesting to see. I think Fraka are a little bit at the advantage, as I think they have a bit more of a flexible hero pool. Viego, very good team, but they feel like they're a little more locked into specific characters a lot of the time, so they may not be as flexible if looking for Exposure goes into the process of banning them out. Viego, though, getting the first elim here on Nukem, trying to get in on this Jeff. Jeff is an interesting choice right now with this penny being set up. We are seeing some value. Viego picking up their second elim now. It's going to be really difficult trying to run dive, 3 dive characters into a penny nest right now. So Fraka is going to definitely probably look to change things up here after another attempt or two if they don't start to see any value off of this dive.
Yeah, it seems like Franco really want to commit to the dive here, but like you said, who's going to deal with the penny nest? Emma really can't get to it. There we go. We are switching off of the dive. Both supports have gone as well. Haru going to be going on to that Moon Knight as well. Shivas, very, very nice pick here. We saw how well he was on the Cyclops going into it. But we're going to be seeing if this triple tank lineup from Jaeger is going to be enough to stop the push. Haru, though, on the Moon Knight is going to be causing a lot of problems for this triple tank. Amazing grab, though, as they are going to be getting a amazing struggling Prism 4-man. Unfortunately, though, no kills are going to be coming through. And in fact, it's actually going to be TK that gets taken out by Glint. That Crystal just doing way too much damage. Sonic causing a little bit of chaos in the backline, though. Meteor is going to be going up into the air. Jaeger does not want to allow them fade. Used very early. Sudden get down, not able to take down that diamond form reduction, is able to keep Glint alive. Lole going to be using this Eternal Bond. Spider Sweeper going to be coming out as well, just to rain chaos on, but that nest has been destroyed, so not as aggressive as the Spiders aren't going to be doing as much. Eternal Bond is going to be coming out as well as a visible boundary from Nukin. Sonic Seduction here as the copy is going to be coming through from Avery. Eternal Bond from them do have the support ult advantage here, as it is going to be alive for a lot longer. Sonic trying to look for a kill, is going to be able to find Haru and Lole as well, as Nice Gummy picks up 2. Sonic with the triple kill.
A really good defensive stop here on the side of Jaego. You know, I think that Fracca was maybe a little too passive with their push. You know, we saw Glint have that Psionic Seduction available for quite a while, and when they finally went to go and get it off, it wasn't in time for it was, you know, Insane was able to be in a spot where they weren't able to be pressured by it. We do see the Ruby Rage come through here by Shivas finally to apply pressure, but we're not going to see any eliminations. Instead, Fracca's actually the ones looking a little worse for wear at the moment. We do have Khonshu ready to go, but they got to watch out, as here comes the Entangling Prism once again. They're all stacked up together inside this Cloak and Dagger bubble, trying to keep them all alive. And Haru still has Hands of Khonshu waiting to fall. If they hold on to it for too long, they're not going to be able to do anything. You can't just wait for your, you know, something else to be able to combo with it. You gotta just let it fly occasionally, and they finally do, and they're finding the eliminations that they lead, now having the Eternal Bond come through as well to stabilize them out on the point. Jaego is going to have an opportunity to be able to portal back at this time. So we're going to see Fracca move on to the point, but Jaego is definitely going to be able to contest it well in advance here. And they have the Psionic Seduction ready to contest them. They should have just let it rip as soon as they came through the portal, but now they've got everybody spread out. They're currently walled off from their team. Everybody split for Fracca. This is very dangerous. Fortunately, Value manages to find Value, taking out Insane with that Meteor M on the backside. Sonic's not able to connect for an elimination. Finally takes out Lole, but at what cost, as the members of their team are falling one by one. They're going to be trying to rush back. Glint managing to take out Avery, and it's just going to be a complete scattered brawl on this point, as the teams are just trying to finish it off. Shivas managing to take out Sonics, taking out Gummy now from Haru, and it's just going to be one by one, Jaego falling and securing the cap for Fracca.
Pretty much seeing a repeat of the Jaego live offensive, managing to cap the point in overtime once again. It does look like Gummy is wanting to stay on this Hulk, does have the world breakup up very soon. Avery going to be switching on to the Luna. Jaego getting off of the triple Vanguard now, going on to his Star-Lord pick. Galactic Legend already almost up and available, but Shivas has this Ruby Rage once again. So much damage that's going to be able to come through if they are able to get a nice lineup here. We're going to be seeing him putting a lot of damage in. Strangling Prism is going to be coming out. It finds 2 Ruby Rage in response, so to try and stop them from capitalizing off the Strangling Prism, they're going to be able to catch TK out as well. The Galactic Legend is going to be coming out very, very low for him. Going to be wiped out of the sky. Glint going to be able to take down TK as well. This is looking really good for Fracca. Worldbreaker Hulk is going to be coming out. It doesn't look like Jaego really want to give them too much room here. They know how valuable momentum is on this second point, and the Worldbreaker Hulk is actually going to be able to perfectly split Fracca up and stop them from pushing for the time being. Glint has Psionic Seduction up and available, though. Gummy finally going to be formed into the Bruce banner form. He gets taken. Eternal Bond is going to be coming out from Lale. Haru going to be using his Horn of Proteus to try and just keep this offensive going. The momentum is what they need, and they are going to use it to perfection. I do believe Jaego Live are going to be able to get another touch now. I don't think so anymore, as Chavez is pushing into their spawn.
Yeah, Jaego having a difficult time right now. Sonic getting pushed back immediately, looking to get an elimination, but is going to be at 7 HP, eliminated off the point. It stalled it just long enough for Jaego to walk out the door, but only for them to get taken down. Both of their Vanguards, TK having to go back inside the doors and now back onto the point all alone, unfortunately, and it is going to be Fracca just moving on. It's a little bit of the same situation. Both teams having a really long delay on that first point and then being able to momentum their way through the second point in a very comfortable fashion. Diego now needing to make this final stop. Like we talked about, it is just a little under 2 minutes, and Fracca still has a good bit of distance to go.
Value is not missing these meteor M's, keeps shutting down the support ultimates of Diego live with the perfectly timed. We are going to be seeing him grabbed off the map. Invisible Boundary is going to be coming out to defend from the Sonic Seduction. Jim is going to be using the Ruby Rage to try and get a lot of damage out. Isn't going to be able to take anyone out though, but does manage to get Sonic out of the sky while he was doing a little bit of acrobatics. We are going to be seeing Gummy switching onto this Devil Dinosaur Galactic Legend going. Diego in the air. The Invisible Boundary is going to be able to keep them alive for the time being. Also take down TK as well, who's kidnapped inside that invisible boundary. Gummy getting really low, needs to be careful here as he gets taken out. This is going to be looking really bad as Fracca are getting so close to that end point. We're going to be seeing Insane push them away as Diego a little bit creative there, using the edge of the map to survive for ever so slightly longer, but Shivers is not going to allow him to get away for free as he has just put up so much space. It's going to be really difficult. 3 meters remaining. We are going to be seeing Sonic touch it in time as he's going to be using the Amazing Spider-Man just to dance around on point, stall it for as long as possible. Gummy has managed to make it back. Shivers going to be able to take down Sonic as well. Gummy going to be getting really low, needs to be careful here. Horn approach is going to be slamming straight onto that dinosaur's head, able to take him down. A tunnel bomb is going to be used by Lolly just to get the advantage. Jaeger going to be falling. TK soon to follow, and it is going to be Fracca moving on to the grand finals. Amazing play from them. The momentum was perfect. They did not let up for a single second.
They did everything they needed to do there on that final push. It was a well-fought series on both sides, even though it's going to come away as Fracca with a 2-0 in this best of three. Diego didn't go down without a fight. They played it very competitively all the way through. It's a hard-fought series. Shivas with an incredible performance there this time around, having after getting off of that Spider-Man and swapping over to that Cyclops. 22 finals, 53-5. And just carrying so much damage through and through. And, well done to Clint on the Emma, just really dealing with what that Devil Dino was bringing to the scenario as well. A much better performance this time around for Sonics on the Spider-Man. They had a difficult time trying to get something going in that domination series, but we're able to do a lot more this time around on the Convergence map. But it's going to be an interesting series here as we're going to have Fracca going up against Exposure in our grand finals, console versus PC.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are now at grand finals. Like we said, LF Exposure was. I almost called them LF Illusionary because he's been typing a little bit too much. But LF Exposure did win on the other side. We are going to be seeing them go up against Fracka, who we just watched console versus PC for our grand finals. Do you have a series prediction for us, finals?
I do have exposure normally winning this. I do want to note though that we are missing, they're not missing, but subbed in is Trick XD is not there for the side of exposure this time around right now. And we actually have somebody subbed in. So it's not the same team that we saw early on, but I'm confident that exposure is still going to have that experience and know-how of what they want to do. And we are unfortunately going to my least favorite map type, Clintar.
If I ever have to scrim against you, just know I am instantly picking Clintar, just for you. Specifically for you.
Oh, okay, it's fine. So we're going to Throne of Null. Yeah, yeah. Royal. We're going
Yeah.
Resource Rumble. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to scrim Resource Rumble. Like, go to game mode, honestly.
Well, that's a little bit of what the new 18v18 mode is. It's a Resource Rumble in an 18v18
I
fashion,
actually
and it
haven't
actually
tried
works
it out
out
yet.
quite well. It's pretty fun. It helps that they change the respawn location based on what point is unlocked, which is the correct way to do that, and not having it be a set respawn or anything of that nature. So,
Mhm.
you move with the point as it unlocks, and that works out a lot better. But
Can you,
we're seeing something interesting already right now.
Oh. Oh.
I think exposure is feeling like Fracka relies on Cloak and Dagger a little heavily, and they are targeting that first over anything else as their first ban, and then saving our beloved Scott Summers.
We'll see if a Gambit save comes through here. It, of course, is. I mean, they've allowed Gambit through. You definitely are going to have to save it. So it's going to be definitely an interesting matchup. We are instantly going to be seeing that Star-Lord banned away. Really scary combo, that Galactic Legend with the Raging Royal Flush. This is actually going to be the first Gambit that we have seen both yesterday and today. So it'll be very interesting to see how that is played out. Again, another ban for the Gambit is going to be the Loki being taken out back. Devil Dino is going to be banned for LF Exposure. Not going to be seeing any mischief from them, although I'm not really too sure they enjoy playing the Devil Dino. I mean, we saw on the first map, it was open and neither team played it, so we'll see how much that really impacts it. We are going to be seeing the Daredevil save. I do really like that Let the Devil Out with the Raging Royal Flush combo, just giving the Daredevil enough movement speed to push on. And I love how much that Gambit save has impacted the bans. Every single ban after the Cloak and Dagger has been specifically because of the Gambit save.
Well, and that's, kind of what Gambit does. You either ban Gambit out or you're committing your next 3 bans to taking away the things that he enables or goes well with. And that's just kind of the nature of part of why he's also so oppressive. But it's interesting here, though. We're going to see something different from Fracka. They tried to run dive last time and they weren't able to because of what was going up against them. It was diving into Penny Nest on Convergence, and it was just really difficult for them to do, and they had to swap out to being more hit scan. And we actually have a sub in on Fracka as well. Shivas is not in, so that was their Spider-Man player, as well as the person who was playing Cyclops originally. So interesting lineup that we're going to be seeing this time around, a little bit different, and it'll be interesting if we see El Frijo come out on this thing that he's currently got selected. I don't know if it is. It'll be interesting to be the first Blade that we see in a long time, but we don't want to get debated too early, as they will still hop around characters here in this waiting phase.
Yeah, it is going to be Nuken hopping on to the Gambit here, and I actually really like this team comp that Fracka has cooked up with the basically full dive with the Gambit. If Gambit is able to hit a really nice anti onto the enemy, the Venom can be so oppressive with the rest of the dive. You can just burst down those supports so quickly. We are going to be seeing exposure running out with Illusionary on the more here is actually going to be Bendy, the dive player, going on to the Cyclops here, instantly killing value. No value allowed this time. Going to be taking down Harrow as well. And I'm not sure that Fracka really understand how to play dive. You're meant to dive in together, not one at a time, because if you dive in one at a time, this is exactly what happens.
Yeah, and immediately we're seeing Bendy getting that incredible value on Cyclops, finding Elim after Elim, already just staggering Fracka one after another right now. Verzi finding a 2K on their own as well on this Magneto, and they are going to look to just apply the pressure to Fracka at the spawn doors right away here early on with that early control of the point. And it's going to be an interesting situation for Fracka. It's going to be difficult to walk out of spawn while you're being poked so heavily, because now Exposure can almost set up in a way where they kind of control their exit with having the Namor paired up with Scott, being able to poke around the corners. And immediately we say Chief picking up an Elim there on the backside on Nukin, and Yuji does fall in the meantime though to Haru, but that's at the cost of their Gambit. So Fracka is still gonna have to be held up a little bit, waiting for their other strategists to get back.
Yeah, I mean, they're just really struggling. Bendy going to be able to take down Glint, although Trade is going to be having on the support as we are seeing Soldier pop off. Bendy going to be shutting him down for the time being, though. But Fracka do currently have the advantage here. Illusionary, really low health, is going to be able to take the health back. Harrow going to be able to take down Verzi as well, as they are going to be able to flip the point now. Harrow looking for more. He's going to get very low, but that deflect is going to keep him alive for the time being. Is able to get revenge on Bendy, who has been causing them so many problems this first half. We are going to be seeing Chief BKM kill Harrow through the wall there. The power of a tank pool is still very impressive. Amazing headshot by Illusionary to take down Yuka. We are going to be seeing the Horn of Proteus just slammed straight onto the floor, trying to get a pick there. Is only able to catch value, though. Unfortunately, not going to be able to get as much value as he would like there. We do have the It's Jeff going to be used here just to keep himself alive for the time being. It is going to be able to eat up one, but the Ruby Rage to get revenge and take his teammates out of the mouth. We are going to be seeing value using this Beast of the Abyss. It is going to be allow Harrow to be able to take down that Lunar Snow, though, as Bendy going to be able to trade out Harrow, though, as Alpha Exposure has flipped the point. It is going in their way. Value going to be able to take down Yuji as well. No supports left alive for Alpha Exposure, as now Fracko going to be starting to push in a little bit here. Harrow does have Let the Devil out as soon as he gets back here. Bendy still just putting in so much work. Illusionary going to be able to take down Glint as well. Chief is going to be using this. I believe that was the quiz time right there, just to try and get a little bit more value and keep himself alive.
Yeah, tough exchange for Fracka. It's right now we're seeing Bendy, you know, very different type of performance. We didn't get to see Bendy really on the hit scan earlier on, and clearly they're very comfortable on it. And we saw them playing Hawkeye of all things. That's what we were watching them play before, while their other teammate was playing their Star-Lord. But Bendy is clearly very proficient here on the hit scan as the CYA comes out, and they're just going to power through the members of Fracka on this last bit of point time. Overtime is ticked, but nobody is able to stay in on the point. Huge value had to swing out, and that last little bit caused them to give up the bit of overtime, and it is going to be Exposure taking the first map in this domination.
Yeah, we didn't even see a single Raging Royal Flush that map there, which is very unfortunate because that is usually why you want to play Gambit. But Aleph Exposure were just so good at stopping Nuken from getting the ult charge, just constantly diving on top of them. Chief being the main suspect there, just constantly taking out your favorite Cajun. Well, actually, everyone's most hated Cajun is he is constantly banned out. Again, very surprised that he got let through, but clearly Aleph Exposure do not care, as they just get so much value even with him being in the game. Very interesting picks here. We are still going to be seeing them commit towards this full dive, even though it's not really been working out for them too much. Buzzy is going to be switching onto the Thing as well, just to make the dive even harder to pull off.
Yeah, I don't know how long we'll see them committed to this dive, especially with Verzi on the Thing now, because if they just fully go to shutting that down, there's just no value to be found. I mean, El Frijo is already below half HP there on the Iron Fist, having dash away, used all his main cooldown, so he's got to wait to really commit. We are going to see the Raging Royal Flush come through, but We don't know if we're going to see any eliminations off of it, as the Fate of Both Worlds is there to keep everybody stabilized on the side of Exposure. We are going to see the Assemble come out by Glint just to keep things going a little bit longer on the side of Fracka, but they're still going to be not able to take control of the point, even though they're trying to push off the members of Exposure. Nothing's secure just yet, and finally we see Haru and El Frijo picking up an elimination each, but Chief does retaliate. Bendy getting one as well on Lole. The point will finally be captured by Fracka, but Exposure is still in this fight, picking up eliminations. Bendy is alive, and they are going to be able to be in a position to flip this point if it extends much longer, trying to find value here, running around on that Venom, stalling out the point as long as possible, as well as Haru on that Daredevil. They finally fall, and now Value is at risk, and they are going to get taken out by Illusionary, and they are going to try to flip this point, but it is the members of Fracka currently staggered out. Jeff looking for the kidnap, not going to find anything off of it, so that's going to be people taken away from the point as well, and it is going to be Fracka still stalling stuff out. Horner Proteus is going to find one there on Nukin, so that's going to be another stagger out on Fracka. They're going to lose a lot of their sustain at this time, as all of Exposure is grouped together on point as they find 3 eliminations across the board. Illusionary with a double, and they are going to recap the point now.
LF Exposure are just playing Kill the Gambit here. Every time that Nukin is on their screen, they just instantly press their ultimate on top of his head. The Banhammer from Chief to clutch out that little last fight last time to be able to take him out was so nice. The repositioning from Lole with the Jeff Bolt was good, but not enough. We are going to see the Ruby Rampage coming out, able to take it down. Lole, that Jeff, out of the fight. As we are going to be seeing Soldier fall down as well. Feast of the Abyss is able to find one, but it's just not enough, as all of his team has already been eliminated, as well as the PRB is just going to bring Lena straight back to us as well. And Exposure just have such a nice hold on this point. Almost up to 50% already. Yuji going to be having that CYA very soon as well. Going to be probably congruent with the Horner Proteus here just for a really nice, easy kill. Nukin still really struggling to be able to get the rolling Rampage to go in. It's very close to 15% remaining. Probably going to be the turning point. Prime going to be instantly taken out by Harrow, though, but Bendy manages to get the trade onto Harrow, as we are going to be seeing him go in. Living Chi now up and available, but Bendy is just too good. He does not miss these shots, as he is just slicing through Fracka.
Yeah, gonna find them on the backside here, just fully pressuring the point of Fracka's spawn. It's by himself, getting assisted there with Illusionary following up, and it is now Chief in the front, and we're even seeing Lena running up on the Luna Snow, looking to assist with applying pressure, and they're just gonna try to keep Fracka boxed in off the point. We do see Glint trying to run in on the side. El Frijo gets taken out. He did have that Living Chi, but he's not gonna be able to get it off in this time as he gets taken down. Here comes the Horn of Proteus, not able to secure the elimination, but Chief and Verzi are there to assist. Chief with a double. Illusionary managing to take out Haru. El Frijo's gonna have to try to get there to touch, but he's the only one. That's gonna be an Iron Fist all by him lonesome, as Lena gets in on the action, finishing off Value, and nobody is gonna be there to touch, and Exposure is going to take our first game in this best of 3 grand finals.
Yeah, that was such a dominant performance from Exposure, just really playing to their strength there. Even though they let the Gambit through, they did not allow Nukin to breathe, just constantly targeting the Gambit, getting them away. They know that the other support isn't really going to be able to peel for them, as he is on Jeff, usually going to be harassing the backline and trying to get their flank up, but the dive just really wasn't working. What I want to see from these dive comps is the team just going in at the same time, but we just never really saw that from Fracka. It would always be Value going in first, dying, Haru then going in second and dying, and then Glint also doing the exact same thing. The times that they won the point were the times when they dived together, but unfortunately it was too few and far between. Bendy and Illusionary just really putting in the work on those hit scans and getting really all of the value that they needed.
Unfortunately, looking at it, I gotta say, one of the things that looks like to be a problem for Fracka is, while they were very focused on running dive, they didn't have any anchor for their team. So there was nobody really to ever protect their backline. They were running 4 dive. You know, you got Venom, Captain America, Iron Fist, and Daredevil. So if you all leave, who's there to help, you know, protect your backline and keep them alive in all this situation? And it's really nobody in that situation. So
Mhm.
I'm wondering if what type of adjustment they make. Somebody's got to run some type of anchor, or you can't just full four-man dive if you're not going to get those eliminations. You have to be able to uh, peel and protect your backline. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to keep you alive. And as we saw, we only saw what, one Raging Royal Flush, maybe two in that entire time, which is a very rare thing to have happen with a Gambit, given that he's usually somebody who can get his ultimate pretty effectively.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why you usually don't run Gambit in a dive comp like that is because you want to play these supports that don't need peel, like the Rocket, like the Jeff, just being able to play for themselves and be pretty much unkillable. But the Gambit is just kind of one of those characters that he does have that dash, but once he's used it, he doesn't really have another way out. He doesn't have this wall climb, he doesn't have these bubbles for the speed like Jeff and Rocket do. So it's just they had kind of the right comp. It just really didn't work with Gambit. I feel like even though you had the unfair Gambit, it would have just been better to run the Rocket Jeff with your full dive, and then you don't have to worry about anchoring them. And like you said, Flannels, it was just painful seeing Nuken get constantly punished for his team diving in and leaving him behind. We
Yeah,
are
that's not an
seeing
ideal situation to have at your disposal. Unfortunately, Nukem really did have a difficult time staying alive, and that's just because they were so vulnerable on all that dive. I mean, we even saw the Van Pool getting into their backline, and that's not ideal. If he's in the backline for free as well, just pressuring your strategist, that's not a great situation because there's just so much other pressure coming through between that Namor and Cyclops being able to just poke you down from so far.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see what difference they're going to be making here coming into the Hall of the Jalia. Not really known as a dive map in particular. It actually is generally more favored towards the hit scan, so I'm a little bit confused as to why Fracker would want to pick this when clearly
Well,
Illusionary and Bendy want to prioritize hit scans, but maybe there's something I'm not seeing, Flannels.
Well, we do have a sub in on the side of Fracas. Shivas is back in. El Frijo is subbed out. So, we do know Shivas is able and capable of playing hit scan if they do want to go that route, but they are also very, you know, performative on Spider Man, which, people do like playing Spider Man on this map. There's, a few different
Mhm.
pull off locations on that first point. For you to be able to go for right outside spawn, but as well as on the backside of the first capture. And clearly, Fracka we're not a fan of that tank pull, as they are actually going to prioritize a ban for it here in this situation, as well as saving that Spider-Man. So Shivas is going to actually look to save that Spider-Man. The ban for Captain America coming in on the side of exposure. So they're not really going to look to let Fracka get comfortable on anything. And they are still going to be able to ban out that Cloak and Dagger if they really want to. I think maybe they just felt like for domination, maybe Gambit they weren't really concerned about it, and maybe they just don't want to deal with it this time around. But we're gonna have that misband, and we're gonna see Namor get taken out as well. So Fraka really just targeting the things that they felt like were a problem for them last time.
Yeah, I will say Spidey is kind of the one dive hero that really works on Hall of the Jalia. There are so many really nice rollout positions that are exclusive to him. We're going to be seeing the Venom save as well. No longer a team up, but still very impressive when dove and used well together. We'll be able to see if they get their synergy. We are going to be seeing the Jeff ban coming through to try and stop that Venom team up. And I mean, Jaff is just really, really nice to play when you're running dive. He can just heal you from a million miles away from the safety of his home. We are going to be seeing the Luna save to the side of Aleph Exposure. I mean, the freeze can be really nice onto the Spider-Man ult, on to the Venom. And we are going to be ending it off with a Star-Lord ban. We'll see what this spells. We are going to be seeing Illusionary go on to the Hella on the first, and I'm used to basically every single time we screen this map, it would be Venom, Hella, Loki go top right, and then Magneto, Cloak and Dagger, and then usually another hit scan go on the left. You just split it, and you see what you can do. We'll see if they are going to put that in to use, or if they're just going to play default and just kind of go down main and just try and poke Fraka out. He's going to be Fraka starting on the defense, so we'll see what they can do.
Yeah, Freck on the defense, and we are going to see this very first time of Rogue coming into play, even though they don't have Gambit available to them. They are still running Rogue. They're actually running triple Vanguard here. Triple Vanguard, triple Strategist at the moment is what
Oh,
it looks like, which is an interesting choice. But coming out on offense, Chief is on Penny right now. I'm very curious if they're going to stay on the Penny for the
I feel
actual
like
offensive push
he
or
might have
not.
just been doing a little cheeky
Little
mind.
cheeky, little cheeky mind placement. But already swapping out there, yeah, they're going with that Venom. So they're going to be looking to apply some backline dive pressure while Bendy and Illusionary are going to just be peppering from afar. So
I
gonna be really difficult here for Fracco with that type of pressure. And the only real shield presence is going to be value because you know Emma has a shield, but it gets destroyed pretty quickly.
I really don't like this Loki setup from Lole. You really want to set up on that top left here just to be able to get the healing, as we are going to be seeing Chief instantly going to be able to take them out. Like I said, just playing on that low ground just makes you way too vulnerable for Venom dives like that. We are going to be seeing Bendy putting so much damage in here with the Cyclops. We are going to be seeing Prime all off the map. I think they were killed by the like the spread shot, I believe that icon was. I don't know. It didn't say who killed them for some reason. Verzi is going to be able to take down Haru as well. And Fraka already forced on the back foot off point. They are still stalling for the time being. It looks like Illusionary is going to be spotted out and poked out a little bit as Fraka are slowly starting to get back to the point. Chief going to be able to take down Value as well. Chief just doing so well on this Venom. They banned out his tank pool, so he's just pulled out the Venom. We are going to be seeing the Soul Resurgence coming out from Nuken just to recontest the point. They did get a single cap, but Fate of Both Worlds has been built in time by Lila. They are going to be starting to push back. Ruby Rampage damage boosted as well. Finds the 3k. That was so powerful. I'm honestly speechless, Funnels.
That was a great overloaded Ruby Rage experience coming out of Bendy, being damage jammed by that Fate of Both Worlds, truly showing why it is both worlds and not just a healing ultimate. It can be used to amplify. Most commonly, it's been used to be paired up with a Venom ult, but clearly it works quite well with Scott Summers just being able to annihilate people. And here we are going to see the depths from below. Abyssal Chomp not going to secure anything, but Illusionary is going to find two off of it instead. And it is going to be Verzi on one. And they are just picking apart Fracco one by one right now and moving steadily through on this second point. And we are going to see Shivas onto that Spider-Man trying to find some way to slow up exposure.
I will say Abyssal Chomp is so much better of a name than Feast of the Abyss. I really think you need to go and try and sign up to work at NetEast, by the way, Funnels. You have the best ideas. You know the alt name. You have better alt names than they do, but we are going to be seeing Shivers finally going to be diving in. Going to be struggling here into this comp. Bendy going to be instantly getting Glint here as Illusionary is finally taken off of this off angle, not before being able to take down Lole though, so a support down for Frack is going to be really difficult. Haru going to be taken out as well. We're going to be seeing a pause come out from Haru. Value mid Meteor M here as a Fracka do have a lot of ults up and available to try and defend this point, but the cart is so close to capping that second point. I'm not sure they're even going to be able to get there in time, as currently Aleph Exposure are just steam rolling through this map.
Yeah, I mean, the point is just right there. And exposure, we do see that like Bendy just went down and so did Haru. Fraka is still down, one of their strategists. So, you know, Illusionary is about to come on the respawn as well. So it's two people down on both sides, but exposure is only down their duelist, whereas Fraka is also down one of their strategists. So Nukem is the only person there to sustain their team. And there's things that are available very much so for exposure here. If they want to force it, they have ultimates that are coming online soon, as well as other ones that are readily available. So they're in a position to still be able to apply a lot of pressure. That Meteor M is kind of just maybe a last ditch effort to survive on the side of value, since they are down that strategist and, you know, he's by himself around the corner. got to try and stay alive, try to stall at the point. But it'll be interesting to see how they, contest this when we get back.
Sorry, it is getting to the 3 a.m. mark. My brain is starting to melt as I am very tired. But yeah, it's going to be really hard here as I can't really see through the pause menu, but I believe it's about 3 meters away from being capped as we are waiting for Glint to come back as they did DC, unfortunately. But I mean, Illusionary just getting the perfect pick on to Lole, who was 95% to having that CYA. Just really unfortunate for him, but amazing target prio for Illusionary. I'm sure they called that the CYA was going to be extremely close, so taking them out was pretty much guaranteed them to be able to cap this second point here. I'm trying to think of a way that Fracka could maybe possibly defend it. I mean, both DPS for Al Exposure are currently dead, but Verzi has a Eye of Agamotto in their pocket. Prime is super close to having that Kumiho unleashed as well. And I mean, with Value being at half health and Yukon being pretty much nowhere near having their invisible boundary, it's really not looking good for Fracko, and Alpha Exposure do definitely have the advantage here. But the copium, if you're a Fracko fan, is that both DPS for Alpha Exposure are currently dead.
Yeah, both DPS being down is definitely important, but as we know, Vanguards are very much so capable of picking up the slack. When it comes down to it, it's gonna just be a matter of if Fracka can stall this out long enough for people to come back with their ultimates who are on respawn. But on the flip side, Exposure's in the same situation. They have people who are going to be ready to come back and ready to just let loose. In together, they have things that are going to be able to be comboed one after another if they need to. So it's a bit of a tricky situation. Hopefully, we're able to get Haru back, or whoever is DC'd back, and we don't have to go into a situation where they're playing down a person. But overall, Fracka, they're doing they're doing better. They just had some misplays on that first point, and it just some of that being positional, and unfortunately, off of those poor positioning choices at the beginning, that has allowed Exposure to just really momentum through this second point quite well. And they've got to just regroup and get a stop and stop that momentum and really figure out how they want to approach the continued pursuit of Exposure right now.
Yeah, I mean, the way that I'm expecting this fight to play out really is just Verzi is going to be going in with a super aggressive Eye of Agamotto to try and take them out. Nuken is going to push them back, and then Value is going to be able to get amazing value with the Meteor M. Like they were seeing them last time, as we are going to be seeing them instantly going in with the Meteor M. Unfortunately, isn't going to be able to find anyone in time, and it is going to be wasted. Point is still being stalled for the time being, though, so they are still in the fight, as Verzi looks like he's going to get in a little bit of a sticky situation here, going to be grabbed and chucked around. Chief going to be able to take down Yukon, though, as they now only have the rocket. The Kumiho Unleash is going to be coming out. Glint with this Starnix seduction. CY8 is going to be coming out as well as the Spider ult. Fracka are just using every single one of their ultimates. They do not want Alpha Exposure to be able to cap, but Alpha Exposure are very happy with that 5 ultimates just to stall the point, and Alpha Exposure are coming up to 5 of their own.
Yeah, that's a very big win for them overall. Illusionary does get picked off here by Shivas, and here comes the Ruby Rage. Not able to find an elimination, unfortunately. It does push Glint back a little bit. However, overall, that was a win initially for Exposure. Bendy does get the elim there on Shivas, but burning all of those ultimates is so huge because now Exposure can kind of just walk forward here. Lolere does get taken down, the Agamotto does connect a little bit, but it's inside the invisible boundary, and they still have people alive coming out of it. Glint, though, and Value are so low, and we are going to see both of those Vanguards fall here, and that is going to be the front line down for Fracka. So Exposure is going to look to just walk through these arches and onto the third point.
Yeah, he's not even going to have to use his Goddess of Death either. still going to stay onto that ultimate, and with no support ultimates up and available for Fracker, it's going to be pretty much a free fight for the next time if they aren't able to defend it properly. But Glint does have that shield that can stop it from getting as much value as they want. Same with Value, but Bendy on a really aggressive flank here with Luna, and oh my god, Luna's going to be able to instantly take out Lole. Shivers is going to be falling to Illusionary, who finally managed to pick him off the backline. This amazing flank clap is going to be used to find Nuken, who is instantly going to be taken out by Bendy. What an amazing flank by these two, just wiping out the members of Fracker from behind, one after another, getting so much value. This is exactly what we saw from the first series. They really like to set up these aggressive plays into their spawn as soon as they get the first cap and switch them over. We are currently seeing them spawn cap right now. Glint is going to be getting over Bendy, getting really low. Lina as well. Snowflake is going to be keeping her alive for the time being, going to be able to dash away. Bendy going to be able to take down Harrow. Goddess of Death has been forced out by Illusionary, in a very good position though, as they cannot push out from this. Gonna need some instant healing though, keeping those supports away for the time being. Finally dropped out of it, 16 health. They do manage to finally take them down. Shivers going to be caught out by Bendy, going to be forced back as well. We are going to be seeing Ruby Rage coming out and finds three once again. Haru going to be using the Ruby Rage in return, but it only finds Verzi, and with no members left alive, LF Exposure are going to be able to cap a full and take us on a full tour of Hall of Dajalia.
Yeah, that full push is really important, and you know, it's looking really good for Exposure here. They have to play a very clean defense, which they are capable of doing. But, you know, we've even seen it before. We've seen them drop that first point. It happened in their first series where it was captured on Shin Shibuya. Shin Shibuya, a little bit different of a map, though. Hall of Dajalia is a bit more open, and with the way they like to play, I feel like the open space is very beneficial to them. Whereas those tight corridors, those tight angles of Shin Shibuya can make it very easy to get caught by surprise or miss somebody coming off of an off angle. Whereas Hall of Dajalia, it's very hard to miss somebody on this map on the first point. It's very hard to be sneaky.
That's true. I really love the confidence from Lena there to follow Bendy into the backline and get a really nice flank off, just instantly wiping them out and giving them momentum to get them into that final fight territory, which they just needed to press Q, use their ultimates to wipe them out, which is exactly what they did. Because we've got a little bit of a stream delay, I got to click on the stream and re-watch the triple kill Ruby Rage, so I am like super hyped up from getting to watch it twice, but we are going to be seeing if Fracker can match it. 2 minutes left on the clock as well, so it's going to be a really hard push. Chief is pushed up super far, is going to be able to spot out Shivers. Lole already getting really low as well, as they are opting to try and use this Mantis to damage boost the Phoenix. I feel like you're better off playing Cyclops here, just to damage boost the Cyclops and just build that ult so much faster. And with the damage boost onto the ult, it'll be super powerful. We are going to be seeing Bendy push back already. Shivers already forced away from the flank. Their Illusionary is just constantly marking him, not allowing him to really go anywhere. Haru going to be forced back extremely low. Shivers actually being able to win the 1v1 against Illusionary, getting a little bit of revenge for being permanently marked by this Ella. And that is going to be a DPS down. And now Fracker know that this is their time to start pushing in, but Bendy is still alive, and this Cyclops does so much damage. But with the entirety of Exposure kiting away, they're actually able to catch Shivers off guard. Perfect kite from them. Bendy, though, getting really low, still being kept up by Lena. Ruby Rage has been built, is going to be able to take down a Value. Glint going to be falling to Verza, who is in his Bruce Banner form. Haru will be able to take down Bendy, but I don't think it is really enough, as the rest of his team has already been wiped out.
Yeah, it's going to be Haru on the retreat here. They are getting a lot of damage out, though. Being a great job being kept alive on the side of their strategist. So well done to them, keeping Haru alive through all of that and not wanting to burn it. They are going to send Hulk back into banner form. And, you know, they did play that kite out initially very well. A great elimination there by Haru, taking out Verzi before the Kumiho could come through. Bendy is going to take out Shivas. They are going to get revived, though. CYA is out, and Fracas is moving in aggressively and pushing back Exposure around the corner. But they're doing a really good job of kiting it out. We do have Chief putting the pressure from the high ground on this Venom and now diving onto the point, barely being able to get off the symbiotic resilience before getting popped. The fate of both worlds being popped on both sides, stalling things out. He's going after the Rocket, but Rocket is a danger on his own if he can get the headshots in and is going to be able to get saved. He was 1 HP. That is unfortunate. They were not able to get that elimination. That was a big elimination to not secure there, and it is now going to be Chief, the only one alive on point, popping the Abyssal Depths, and they are not going to be able to get anything off of it, trying to just stall out in this time. Bear, is he going to be able to get the World Breaker off, though, to keep the stall going? Gonna get popped, though, very quickly, and that cap is going to come through on the side of Fracka, and that portal is going to be too late and not able to stop anything other than be able to maybe stagger out Fracka just a little bit.
Yeah, which they do perfectly. How we're going to be taken out by Bendy. Illusionary and Bendy are just doing so much work here, just getting pick after pick after pick. I will say, though, Shivas has been winning these 1v1s against Illusionary recently. The first half was a completely different story, but now that they're on the offensive, Shivas is just feeling himself. He is really getting the value with these picks onto Illusionary. Illusionary doesn't even have that ult yet. Illusionary are going to be able to take down Nuken, though. They are going to have that ult very, very soon. Still on the flank, Ruby Rage is going to be coming out, unable to find anything, unfortunately. Harrow going to be able to take down Prime Yuji as well, as Illusionary is going to fall once again to Shivas. The flank has finally been stopped, as he is instantly going to ult onto the backline, going to be able to get the initial pick as soon barely's going to follow. Shivas is doing amazing. He's really doing God's work right now for Fracka.
Yeah, it was a beautiful triple elimination by Shivas, finishing that off on Bendy, and that's going to put Exposure a little bit on the back foot here as the payload is coming around this first corner. So, well done to Fracka, really coming into themselves a little bit here. Haru doing an incredible job on the Phoenix. Kind of surprised we didn't see it sooner. They must really like to play dive, but Illusionary is going to find their eliminations finally after getting bullied by Shivas so many times. They're going to find a 2K on their end. Nukem is going to get revived, but Verzi is going to quickly take out Lolray, and they are now pushing Fracka back towards their spawn. Glint now falling to Lina as Exposure is just going very aggressive here on the defensive side.
I mean, Fracka really has such a big ult advantage here. They just aren't using it. They should have gone super early with that CYA and the Endsong Inferno to stop Illusionary from being able to get those initial picks. Illusionary now on the flank once again, trying to look for a sneaky kill onto one of the supports. Harrow is going to be able to spot him out, though. Nuken going to be using this clap here to get a little bit of value, but that is such a big cooldown out of this fight really early. Fate of both worlds that has now been built. Freeze is going to go wide as Illusionary is going to be able to get a double kill. Ruby Rage is going to be coming out. Fate of both worlds, maybe by accident, there is two are already dead. Illusionary has been forced to use this Goddess of Death, though, to keep themselves alive with only 75 health left. They are going to be looking to get a little bit of revenge onto Shivas. Fortunately, not able to take them out for the time being. Prime is going to be using that TP to keep Illusionary alive, and oh my god, Illusionary, he does not miss. Shivas needs to be constantly marking this Hela, because as soon as he is allowed to free reign, he just gets those headshots and takes them out.
Yeah, Hela, while not the ideal hit scan, some people do like Hela over Phoenix or something of that nature, and a little bit of that comes down to the screen shake factor, in that some of these characters have different levels of screen shake. Some people prefer Hela because of the way the screen shake is, or they just like the feel of the response from her shot over Phoenix's, and that's just kind of how it is. And Haru is going to very much so get Illusionary there off the backside. The Psionic Seduction coming through as well, but this fight is happening so far away from the point, but it is being held up. Exposure is going to flip the point, and very quickly Verzi is taken out of that Hulk form as Fracka is going to look to take control back again and get this payload moving once more. But there was so much burned from on like behind the point on the other side of the objective. So really tough exchange there for Fracka to burn all his ultimates there when it doesn't move them forward outside of getting control back again.
Arrow just barely hanging on there. I'm going to see Bendy using that movement to get away. This character is extremely balanced. So much damage and being able to run away. Shirez is going to get revived, but with no BRB, this is a very scary fight for Fracka. We are going to be seeing Lina going in with that Fate of Both Worlds, not before Chief was taken out, but it doesn't matter as Bendy once again gets that double kill with the Ruby Rage. Make that a quadra as Bendy is popping off. Lina going to be able to take down Nuken and finish off the match, and it is going to be LF Exposure as our Shockwave winners. Huge congratulations to them. 2-0 in grand finals, undefeated throughout the entirety. Each of them showed the mastery of their characters. And oh my god, Bendy and Lena are a terribly I'm trying to think of a word for them, but there just really isn't a word. Their duo, their synergy is just so amazing. Always on the same target, always flanking together. Really, really nice team play from the entirety, and I love the confidence from Illusionary just to go all the way into backline and, like you said, force out so many of Fracker's ultimates. Really, really early, but Flannels. This is going to be a tough one. MVP.
Bendy.
I was going to say Lena. You know me, looking out for my supports is. I mean, Bendy was just playing so well, but I really feel he wouldn't have gotten as much value without Lena. But you know what? I'm going to cave. Oh, we can do both. I got told by production we're allowed to do both. I was about to cave, and I was about to agree with you, but we've been saved. It is going to be a Lena and Bendy, the absolutely terrifying duo, gonna be getting our MVP for the grand finals. Now, we are gonna take a short break, but do not go anywhere as we will have an interview with your winners very, very shortly. But for now, bye-bye. Welcome back. We are joined by our two MVPs, Bendy and Lena. Say hi, guys.
Hello.
What's up, guys?
What's up?
What's up?
Some absolutely amazing plays throughout the night. I especially the reason I gave you guys MVP was that flank on third point. I absolutely loved it. Who called it? I need to know. Whose
Which
idea was
one?
it?
Was it the first one
The
where we
the
went,
one
like, right
as
side?
soon as you capped second point, you and
Oh,
Lena
Yeah,
just went straight and like annihilated them
I'm
from
not gonna lie,
behind.
I just went up there and, like, Lena just followed me. It
I
was
just
like,
followed.
yeah, it was like, telekinesis shit, I don't know.
Hey, that's what I like to hear, you know? That's what you need from your support players to be really in connect. Now, I want to know your game plan going into this matchup. Was there any research on Fracco, or did you kind of just go in with a comp that you wanted to play and a winning attitude?
Um, well, we kinda knew they were, like, console players, so we figured they were gonna, like, play melee and stuff, and, but we also Cyclops, his new character, he's pretty strong, so we figured, like, we're just gonna play Cyclops. Um Me and Illusionary just want to play comfort, and then everyone else just, also kind of play comfort, I guess. There was no real like um how do I say game plan going into it. It was just like play how we play. And I think we're pretty good at just improvising a little because we didn't know exactly what they would play, but that first map they came out on some crazy dive, and I think we adapted pretty well and
Hmm.
managed to live and just mark out the angles really well and gave them a hard time diving us.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they came out in that full dive, but even then, you all still managed to pick up just some immediate eliminations. And, I got to ask, how are you feeling about Cyclops? He seems to be kind of able to do it all a little bit as a hit scan mobile character. How are you feeling about him?
Yeah, he is pretty strong. I think he's like a weird mix between like a Moon Knight, like and a Phoenix, and like I don't even know. His ultimate is kind of one of those that like one burst kind of ultimate, so it's not like something that like not like a Punisher ult that you walk with, but more like a Phoenix ult where you just kind of pop it and but you can't break it either. And
Yeah.
on top of that, he has like Moon Knight damage with his right click. So like what I like to do is just walk up to the front line, hold right click, and if I get to any danger, I just use my shift and fly out. It's pretty busted.
Yeah, yeah, definitely seems it. I mean, the Ruby Rages from you were so perfect. I especially liked the one when Lena went in with the damage boost and you just instantly got a
Yeah, it
3K.
was insta die.
It was
Yeah,
crazy. I have to ask though, Bendy, who's the better Cyclops, you or Illusionary?
bro, my guy Illusionary is too good, bro. I'm not gonna lie, he's too good. He gets me on the hit scans. That guy is he's out of his mind on the hit scans, but I got him on the melees.
That's fair. I mean, his flanks were just so amazing. Do you kind of call it out when you want him to go on these flank angles, or does he just kind of do it by himself?
Um, I mean, it depends. If we're like really like teed up and like we have a game plan going into things, like it's gonna be like okay, like Illusionary, you go on the off angle while Chief sets up for his hit, and then when Chief hits, you swing on the off angle kind of thing. But I think on last map or like whenever he was doing it, it was kind of just his own at his own ease because he's really self sufficient. He's really good at doing his own thing and getting a lot of value on it. So that's how it went for this tournament.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's really awesome. I mean, so going back to that first map, I'm thinking about it now. We're talking about illusionary flanking on the Djalia, but when he was playing Namor, so many times it was just the flank Namor, which people just are terrified of in comps. So I'm not surprised that he just naturally goes and gravitates for those types of flanks, even on hit scan characters. But even more so about flank is Lena over here. There were a lot of times where we would see Lena just running almost to the front line themselves, just following suit with everybody. Do you normally just follow very aggressively with your team, or when you play maybe on your own in comp, do you typically like to play Luna as like a flank Luna or offensive Luna, which a lot of people have started doing with her recent buffs in 7.5?
Yeah. In ranked, I feel like I kind of run it down more and play DPS. But in team play, I tried to like chill a bit, but this game I was like, I'm gonna treat it like ranked and just run it down. So yeah.
As a support player, that's the most relatable thing I've heard in a while.
Trusted my DPS and you know.
Yeah, I mean, I love seeing support players put in their DPS. I feel like too many support players heal bot. I think that's what kind of sets them Luna players especially aside. If you can hit those headshots, she can two tap people, three tap them with the freeze, and you were hitting some really nice freezes as well. Well, I have got only like one or two final questions, and then you can go enjoy your evening, enjoy your winnings. First one, will you guys be back again next week to defend your throne?
Um,
Sure.
I
Um
believe
yeah.
I don't see why not. I don't see why
Yeah.
not. Shout out
Hell
Sounds
Trick.
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, shout out Trick
Shout
for
out
getting us in
EXG.
here. Yeah, shout out EXG. Um,
Mhm. That was gonna be my
yeah.
next question. Guys, hold on. That's my next one,
Okay,
okay?
okay, okay.
Okay, thank you. Well, I can't wait to cast you again next week because it has been really fun watching your journey throughout this tournament. And do you have any last shout outs, any things you would like to say to the audience before we call it a night?
I'll
Um
go first, I guess. Oh,
okay.
ladies first.
Shout out EXG. Shout out me for flanking and stuff. Let's go. Let's go.
Gotta
All
get
right,
gotta
baby.
gotta gas yourself
All
up
right.
when you get the opportunities.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean you got MVP, so you deserve it.
well, shout out you guys first of all running a sick tournament. You guys casting was good whenever I like checked in on the stream, like when you guys were casting the semis. Um, you guys are running a cool thing here, and the production's really good. And shout out my team. Um, we're gonna do really well this MRC. Hopefully, we're working hard towards it, and we're getting really better every day. We're getting a lot better every day. And yeah, shout out EXG, shout out Trick.
Yeah, I
Oh,
can't wait to see your improvement next week. I can't lie.
no, it's
Sorry,
awesome.
Flannels.
Yeah, just real quickly, do either of you have intentions of playing in MRC? Do you are you on a team for MRC already? Is there something that y'all are doing? I know you guys are saying shout out EXG. We know Equinox, they have, their team that is currently going through the MRI relegation series as well as their academy team. But I don't know how deep it goes for Trick with what they're trying to get involved with. But I'm excited to see that they are trying to get so involved in the scene because it's still such an early scene in Marvel Rivals.
Yeah, we are competing this MRC with this roster. I competed more back in the day, but I'm getting back into it now with this team, and it's going really well so far. And I mean, yeah, our future plans are just to keep improving. Hopefully, make the MRI relegation, I think it is, the qualifier, and perform in that as well. Hopefully, make Ignite. That'll be really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, that's going to be an exciting series with the MRI. There's so many teams that are going to have the opportunity to participate. So, best of luck to you all.
Thank you,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you so
yeah, I think
much.
you guys definitely have a really bright future. I, for one, cannot wait to see the improvements that you make in only a week. But unfortunately, that is going to spell the end of our Shockwave tournament. I do also have a few shout outs before we end. Firstly, thank you to Aleph Exposure for putting on an absolutely amazing show for us and providing us with something that was extremely fun to cast. Huge shout out to Kiss for being able to put this on, for funding it. Shout out to Avon for helping with the signups, helping ref the games. Huge, massive, absolutely humongous shout out to Baseline, who has been behind the scenes doing all the observing, all of the production stuff. It's all been him. Thank you for Lowell for making these absolutely amazing assets for us to use. And last but not least, my absolutely amazing co-caster Flannels once again has been an absolute pleasure to cast with you. Any final words before we close it off from the team players or from Flannels?
Oh, thank you guys for the tournament and how great it's been organized and
Yes.
all that. Thank
Yeah,
you guys.
plus one.
Appreciate you guys.
I agree. You guys ran a really cool tournament, and thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you for participating. It's been an absolute joy. It was fun to cast and watch and see all of the big moments happen. So we hope to see you all back again. And that's all I have to say on it.
Well, we will let you go and enjoy your winnings, and that is going to be us signing off. Do be sure to come back next week and hopefully see Aleph Exposure defend their crown. But for the time being, that is going to be it over. It's 3 a.m. I have been Red Luna, and I am extremely tired. So, good night, everyone.
Thank you
Good night,
guys.
all.
Thank
Good night.
you. Good night, guys.